advised not to travel yet as the scale of the disaster is still being assessed. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,629.10 an ounce. The rand is at 15.95 to the dollar, 21.67 to the pound, 18.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.30 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway approaching Eskom Pahlele Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between the Boysons Road exit and the Crown interchange.
And in your sports, Sundowns run riots in a 5-2 premiership victory over AmaZulu, while Chiefs drop more points. Spurs register first victory of the new season as they advance to the next round of the Carabao Cup. And the US Open mixed doubles final has just wrapped up. Menchik picking up a victory as well as Muchova.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 22, Pretoria 12, and a high of 22 as well. Vereeniging 10 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: political parties in the Government of National Unity have all defended National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza against a motion to remove her.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Every promise, every ward, every word. Follow every moment of the local government elections on 702 Cape Talk and ewn.co.za.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to the program. It's a Thursday, the 27th of August, the year of our Lord 2026. A rare display of unity by the GNU. Who knew? We'll talk to the operator of the National Lottery. How often do you play? Have you checked when you've played on your banking app if you have won? How does it actually work? Does the bank call you? Do you get an SMS? Where are you supposed to check? Particularly if you've won those amounts that are too large to simply be deposited in your account without a conversation. There is an unclaimed 93 million rand. Imagine being broke and borrowing money for transport for that last stretch until payday. Handy, there's 93 million rand. Wouldn't it be lovely? Higher education, we've got to talk about it. You remember we had the higher education portfolio chair who said NSFAS wasn't really all that disastrous. We've been trying to get the minister. We're going to keep trying to get the minister, but the deputy minister is stepping in. He's going to take the hot seat. He's meeting NSFAS today. There are so many students who are languishing with qualifications completed, but they don't have the certificates because fees are outstanding. There's the disaster of the TVET colleges, which trains cohort after cohort after cohort that can't get practical experience, and therefore they don't qualify. Ay, ay, ay.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It's just a litany of woes. There's now even a bursary scheme that is meant to fund training for teachers. And again, students there are bemoaning a lack of assistance because their fees, their monies haven't been paid. But we know quite a tidy sum, 1.3 billion rand, was allocated to at least 23 institutions. So what's the problem? Why does the left hand not seem to know what the right hand is doing? And then, as I say, those poor TVET students, their theory part completed, but they're stranded at home because they can't get the practical work experience they are required to complete their qualifications. Let's not even get into the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. The government watched, the Department of Higher Education watched as the crisis deepened, and it was only when the campus was burning that they dispatched a team to try and help negotiate. He'll answer all of those questions, hopefully, after 7. That's our big interview. And I cannot wait to speak to Celeste Nduli after the polygamist. She's joining us a little bit before 9 o'clock to talk, of course, about the comedy shutdown.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX, helping South African organizations turn cloud, data, and AI investments into faster decisions, smarter operations, and measurable business outcomes. I'm not alone, of course, as always. I've got an entire team of colleagues behind the scenes, producers who help put the show together and control various aspects of it. From Karabo for social media, KG starting the clock, producers Siamtanda and Bapelile in the booth, and of course in studio to guide you to your destination and on your commute this morning. Amoramila, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Landers.
Muteo Khoripe is here for business news and much more. Good morning to you, young fella.
Morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Landers.
So I've got a question for the two of you, and this is our shout out this morning. And all around 702 Land, I want you to think around this question. When you are in a queue and you need to be in this queue for whatever reason, right? And there are a lot of people and you're under pressure, you are stressed, your life continues, but you have to be in this queue. What gets your goat the most? What gets under your skin when you are in a queue? Are you one of those people who are patient as Job? Right? Please hold my place. Someone says to you, I just need to grab one thing. I'm coming back. I forgot something. Do you let them come back in when they return? How do you feel about, you think you are number 3 in the queue, then you're number 2 in the queue, and then 5 people show up and they say, oh, no, sorry, we were here a little earlier. So you had to queue the entire time whilst they were busy frolicking somewhere. Well, I think the better English is they were on a frolic of their own. I must be careful which frolic I mean. Are you one of those? Once somebody leaves the queue, they've lost their spot? What about queue jumpers? How do you feel about that, Muteo?
Look, I don't like queue jumpers. I don't like people skipping queues. But for me, it's probably 2 things that take me off in a queue. So if we're paying at a retail store, they ring up all the stuff that you're buying, and then they tell you need to pay. If that's the only time you decide to pull out your wallet, we're going to have problems. If that's the only time you decide to go dig in your bag for your card, did you not know you were going to pay for items?
Oh, but
now you're digging through your bag like, oh my God, I just got the surprise. I need to pay for these goods. No. Second, if we're in a queue, maybe trying to withdraw money, whatever the case is, if you go and play Tetris there at the ATM and you're checking your balance and putting the card back in to withdraw a little bit of the money, then you think, maybe I need 50 Rand more. No.
Yeah, I can't deal with people who are checking their balance.
Like, it's
No,
on
I
your
can't.
phone.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think you guys are
Come
a bit
on.
impatient, hey?
No, man.
No, you really are. But
I
for
admit
me,
to it.
what really gets to me is when we are queuing, say, at a public clinic or institution, and then they say, "Sietien." Nothing gets to me more than that. When you're on the queue and you were waiting,
Suddenly the official who has to assist you goes on a tea break.
nothing breaks my heart more than that.
I hear that. I'm talking a lot more about the people in the queue with you. Right? You've got little control over
the
the
systems.
person who's assisting you and how that system is designed. And maybe shame, poor thing does need to go to tea.
Yeah.
But it's the people who, on
I'm
paper,
queuing with.
have as much rights and say in the situation as you do, and then you watch them gain some unfair advantage. That, for me. And then I have to remember, I work at 7:02 breakfast.
Someone's going to take a video.
You are Bongani Bingwa.
Trending for nonsense. But inside, yo.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. For me, guys, the only thing I miss about COVID days is social distancing. Guys, no. There are people in a queue that would like walk right into you, literally, like flipping. Can you just give some space? Huh? Come on. But other than that, I mean, if somebody asked to go and fetch something, it's fine. I mean, they were first in take queue. They let them go and get it and come back. And in general, if I see a long queue, I don't even get into that store.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, I mean, when you have to vote, when you are flying somewhere, I mean, especially at these big international airports where you are given codes. This group must stand there, that group, if your ticket says D1 or Q, and you have no choice. You're in a foreign country, you've got officials that can barely speak languages you understand, you just have to comply. And then someone comes in and they try and get an unfair advantage. What gets your goat in queues? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. We'll also take your calls, by the way, on 011 883 0702. We do take those.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
The top story in Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Political parties in the Government of National Unity defending the National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza against a motion to remove her, warning, of course, that removing a speaker over a legally permissible decision not to oppose a court challenge by the president would set a dangerous precedent. The speaker is not there to fulfill your political wishes, is the sentiment. A rare display of unity by the government of unity. Talking of which, of course, the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula was talking about what the party needs to do to earn the support of voters ahead of this year's local government elections. And it just was one of those curious questions for me. Have you ever heard someone communicate a message or even sell you something that you wonder deep down, do they believe what they are saying? Right? Someone selling you, I don't know, Muteo, fruit-flavored petrol. Right?
Even they wouldn't believe it, surely.
You humble yourself. We ask for a chance. You don't say, vote for us, you like it or not, and all of that. It's a humble way of expression. You can take it further and say second chance. You are asking. A vote is not a given. It is a ask. You get into the community, people tell you their frustrations about yourself. That's why they vote. Their vote is not a blank check. You must remember them long after the vote, and at their time, their bosses, and they are showing their muscle. That no, I've been to houses where people say, I'm tired of voting, but I've left their house with a person say, I'm going to vote. It's the nature of the campaign. You don't get into somebody's house with the belief that these people it's a given that they are going to vote for us, unless you're arrogant.
Fikile Mbalula there talking about what ANC leaders and politicians need to do to get the votes the party needs in this upcoming election. What would you advise if you're a consultant, right? If you were called by Luthuli House, come and advise ANC councillors and leaders and would-be mayors. Well, they don't even know if they're going to be mayors, do they? That's a different conversation for another day. What do they need to do? I mean, what would they need to do to convince you to make your X against the green, black, and gold? Let's talk.
Good morning, Bongani. I don't think it's ever been done that a motion of no confidence in a speaker is held virtually. I mean, that's serious business for Parliament anywhere in the world. I don't understand how we get ourselves used to norms that don't make sense. I mean, having a no motion, a vote of no confidence in a speaker held virtually is crazy work for me. If anybody knows if it's been done anywhere else in the world, can they please come to the radio and actually help me out? Because I'm a bit lost. Thank you. Just catch you from a call.
I don't actually know myself. But I suppose it just really shows you it was probably just a tick box exercise. The motion had been there. They had to go through the thing. They had to go through the motions, so to speak. It was just a tick box exercise. That never had a flying chance, right? Never had a flying chance.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Muteo Khwaripa, 21 after 6. You've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know what's your favorite comfort food? Something cooked low and slow with the meat falling off the bone, or something rich, sweet?
Oh, no, you lost me at sweet. Low and slow. I want flavor. I want herbs. I want garlic. I want a drizzle of wine. I want butter.
Lots of it.
And winter's over.
You know me, there's the sweet stuff. Dark chocolate cake, decadent, soft, spongy.
Okay, you're making a case?
Yeah.
For
You're
the
making
sweet
a
stuff,
case?
right?
You're
So I want
making
to
a
know
case, Amu?
your
Yeah.
comfort food this morning. I know some of you haven't eaten yet, but
Yours, Muteo?
low and slow.
Yeah.
Low and slow for me.
Yeah.
Something falling off the bone, definitely.
Nyama.
702.
Weather.
Big nyama. All right, what weather conditions can we expect? A little cooler today than we've seen for the rest of the week. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures maxing at 22 degrees for Johannesburg and Pretoria. 23 is your high in Vereeniging. 26 in Cape Town. A fine day expected there. Mahikeng peaks at 25. Gqeberha 26. East London or Kugombo City 24 degrees. Durban a lovely 23.
EWN Traffic.
Promise made is a promise kept. Amo, to get us to our destinations safely this morning. How's the morning commute looking?
Well, Bongani, in Midrand, we've got an accident on the N1 South that happened after the Olifantsfontein Road turnoff. It's causing heavy delays already. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. And then heading towards the Joburg CBD, do expect delays on the Mark 1 North. In fact, a stop and go between Xavier Street and Carr Street exit at the double-decker section. I'll have more updates for you. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Morning, Uncle Bongani and the team. What gets me working, Mudimo, it's those guys, no, those people basically that just decides to cut in. When you're standing in a long line and they decide to cut in because they know somebody in front. Or we're standing in a grocery line, they give a certain person their things, and now both of them are standing next to each other. That's cutting in, basically. Yo, that gets me worked up.
We're asking you a simple question. You're in a long queue. You have no choice but to be there. What gets your goat as you experience that? We'll tell you why coming up.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
So yesterday, whilst all of the world, quite frankly, was mourning the passing of Dolly Parton, we also got news that the English actor Tim Curry, you'll best know him for his unforgettable portrayal of the flamboyant Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He's also died, also at the age of 80, like Dolly Parton. Curry enjoyed a remarkable career spanning film, television and theatre, with memorable roles in Charlie's Angels, Muppet Treasure Island, The Shadow, The Three Musketeers, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Clue, Legend and Annie. Tim Curry, of course, passing away at the age of 80 just yesterday. The economic freedom fighters suffering a setback in Parliament after the attempt to remove the Speaker, Thoko Didiza, was decisively rejected. In the final vote, 208 MPs voting against the motion, whilst 101 supported it. They tabled that motion on the 26th of June, accusing Didiza of failing to defend Parliament during the country's first impeachment process against a sitting president. Listen to this. I mean, what a story from Australia, right? And it's a medical situation that the law simply wasn't prepared for it. In Queensland, a surrogate mother gave birth to twins in November last year. But I'm going to listen to this. The babies have a remarkable story. They have completely different biological parents. So this woman, who was meant to be a surrogate for a couple, I think in our legislation, we call it the commissioning couple. So she had an IVF embryo implanted for, as I say, another couple as part of a surrogacy arrangement. And whilst that had happened, she fell pregnant, naturally. So she was carrying her own baby and the baby belonging to the surrogate couple. Both babies were born on the same day by caesarean section, sharing the same womb, but of course, as I say, not the same biological parents. Thankfully, sanity, I think, worked here because each child has been raised by its biological family. There's been no dispute over parentage, just what the law says about it. The court has now ruled that the babies are what they're now calling gestational twins because they shared the same womb, but they're not legally considered birth siblings under surrogacy law. Isn't that fascinating?
It is. It's fascinating.
Quite literally, a brother from another mother. The Gauteng Department of Health is investigating disturbing allegations of a pay-to-skip-the-queue system at some public hospitals and clinics. The department says it's received complaints that officials may be taking money from patients in exchange for jumping the queue and getting faster access to healthcare services. Allegations include patients paying to secure earlier appointments, medical files retrieved more quickly, or the fast-track collection of medication. And if proven, it would mean some patients are being forced to choose between waiting their turn or paying their way to the front of the line. And it raises all sorts of questions about fairness, corruption, and access to an already stretched public health system. And that's why we're asking the question, what gets your goat when queuing? On this day in 1994, this was the hottest song on the Billboard Hot 100.
I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight, baby, all through the night. I'll make love to you when you want me to.
Quintessential 90s power ballad matched the record long held by Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, staying at the top of the charts for all of 14 weeks. Massive monster hit for Boys to Men from the pen of Babyface.
702.
The newspapers.
Sister Zulu, what's in the papers?
Good morning, Bongani. In London, doctors have carried out the world's first live AI-assisted brain surgery and successfully removing a tumor from one of the patients they were working on. So it was growing in his optic nerves, which connects the eyesight to the brain, something along those lines. And during the operation, an AI tool analyzed the live video feed in real time, guiding the doctors around the hidden blood vessels and nerves. It was just acting as an expert with the secondary eyes.
So it wasn't a
It
robot
wasn't doing
powered.
the actual operation. It was basically saying, move to this side, move to this side.
I'm not ready. All right, somebody else can jump that queue. Thank you very much. The front page of the Business Day, a picture of Shadrach Sibiya, Matlala denying he paid Sibiya, but also a story about tariff pressures driving South Africa and Brazil into an alliance. The front page of the Sowetan, Dolly Parton honored at Piccadilly Circus in London, but also the cost of the Bosasa collapse. Employees left destitute by liquidation, telling stories of hardship, empty pockets, and unfinished homes.
EWN Business.
Sweet or savory, I suppose, is what Mateo wants to know. What's your comfort food? Something chocolatey and sweet, or slow cooked over a fire in the oven, in a clay pot, dripping with juices?
Are you making something tonight?
Yo, guys.
Many South Africans may have avoided their favorite comfort food over the past winter. The prices of oxtail more than doubled over the colder months as demand rose and supply remained low. Now, why was the supply of oxtail so limited? Well, the Association of Meat Importers and Exporters says a technical error to do with the health certificates from Argentina is driving up the price of oxtail in the country. The organization says the price of the protein source has doubled compared to the first half of the year. Imports of Argentinian oxtail were blocked because of the words ovine scrappy included on an official import certificate that did not comply with regulations, triggering a bureaucratic dispute that halted the trade. Now, Argentinian oxtail has not had ovine scrappy at all, and it was just a misunderstanding. But the Association of Meat Importers and Exporters warns that up to 1,000 tons of oxtail, valued at over 100 million rand, can be at risk of failing to reach shelves during a single winter due to import and certification disputes. South Africa imports approximately 70% of oxtail from Argentina. Why does that happen? Because we consume as much. So even our own cattle is not enough supply for us. It's seen the price go up from 79 Rand to 99 Rand per kilo to about 169 to 200 Rand a kilo. So until the Department of Agriculture sorts out that technical error with the importers, it's going to be tough.
I wouldn't quite say it's usually a staple in winter, but it's no wonder. I've only cooked it once this winter.
Yeah, it's quite pricey.
That's what it is. And it used to be so cheap. Not cheap, but it used to certainly be reachable, wasn't it? Where's the rand? Is that reachable?
Yeah, at 15 Rand 95 against the US dollar, 18 Rand 59 against the euro, 21 Rand 67 against the British pound. Price of gold this morning, $4,625 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,858. Brent crude at $87.36 a barrel. More business after 7.
Coming up, could you be a millionaire and you don't even know it? We'll tell you more. Sfiso Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. More than 3,000 workers facing retrenchments at Premier Foods say they stand to lose more than just an income if the factory closes. They picketed outside the Fruit Products Western Cape plant in Tulbagh yesterday after consultations with unions reached a deadlock. Anele Gabela says he's worked there for 7 years and supports a household of 5, but he's never been permanently employed.
You can't work for so many years, but you are not permanent. My dad was 55 and my mom was 50 when they stopped working. So they only got each 5,000 rand. It's a crisis. Most of the people are going to suffer. It's going to affect you because you are unemployed now. You can't pay the debts.
Saying in the Western Cape, emergency services teams have conducted a simulated cabin rescue exercise on Table Mountain. This was to demonstrate how they will respond if passengers became stranded in the aerial cableway. Last night's training operation saw rescuers deploy specialized equipment as well as rope access techniques to reach a suspended cable car and safely evacuate mock passengers. The team's David Nell explains the purpose of the training.
Just to introduce for young rescuers or newer rescuers that technique, it has a very small margin for error in terms of its rigging. So these trainings are quite focused, technically speaking.
He says this type of rescue does not happen often.
This particular technique, where we're using the cabin as a rescue platform, we use this probably once, maybe twice a year, but it is far less frequent in terms of its use, but it is much more demanding, obviously, in terms of skill and currencies.
International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says the focus needs to shift from discussions to results as South Africa and Brazil deepen their strategic partnership. Lamola was speaking at the 8th South Africa-Brazil Joint Commission in Pretoria yesterday, where discussions covered areas including trade, energy, mining and agriculture. Lamola says the success of the strategic partnership will be measured by the results it delivers for the people and the economies of both countries.
Our corporations must be underpinned by measurable outcomes, strong institutional coordination, and regular monitoring of progress. The success of our partnership will ultimately be measured by its impact on the lives of our citizens and the opportunities it creates for future generations.
And forest fires have killed 12 people and injured dozens in northeastern Algeria. The toll has risen from earlier local media reports of 2 deaths and unspecified number of injuries around 300 kilometers from the capital, Algiers. Forest fires occur regularly in northern Algeria during the summer, but climate change is amplifying their impact by causing increasingly frequent droughts and intense heat. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 12 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 23.
And in the traffic in Germiston, we've got delays on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. There's also queuing traffic reported along the Makwa North between Xavier Street and Carr Street.
The top story this hour, more than 3,000 workers facing retrenchments at Premier Foods say they stand to lose more than just an income if the factory closes.
Smart business decisions save money. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's JC from Blonde Hair Studio.
I was with my previous insurer for many years before switching over to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm really happy with the premium I'm paying now, and switching was definitely one of the best decisions for my business.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Struggling with maths or want to improve your grades? Listen up. The Shaya Isibalo Maths Institute, SIMI for short, already helps thousands of high school learners, parents and teachers with CAPS-aligned maths workbooks, free teaching videos and revision sessions. Created by Michael House maths teacher Paul DeVet. SIMI is a maths movement already improving grades across South Africa. Go to primemediaplus.com or simi.education. Proudly supported by Prime Media Cares and Michael House Community Partnership Trust.
The Checkers Hyper Price Drop is back. Save up to 40% on pork value pack for just $59.99 per kilo. Tate's potato chips 125 grams, any 8 for only 99 Rand. Save 53 Rand. And Coca-Cola, Fanta or Stony soft drinks, a 300ml 24 pack for just 169 Rand. Valid until 6 September, only at Checkers Hyper.
The National Lottery just got more exciting because Sizekaya is launching Multiplay 2, which is another innovation designed to give you more chances to win. To find out more, tomorrow from 3 p.m., 702 Drive with John Pullman will be in conversation with Khutadzo KG Mashile, head of marketing at Sizekaya. They'll unpack the new Multiplay 2 innovation and discuss the future of the National Lottery. So tune in to 702 in conversation with Sizekaya.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Good morning, Bongs and team. The 27th of August. Bongs, mina, what I hate on the cute small talks. I'm there with my own stress, bruh, and I'm standing on a queue, need this thing to be paid, and maybe I'm not even balancing well, and then you are yada 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 with the small talks, my bro. I don't mind somebody stepping in front of me, claiming he was there. What? I don't even entertain. Hey, Muna, small talks. Wait, now you need to talk about things you don't even understand because this person they just like talking, or maybe they are shy because they stepped in when it was not necessary to do so. Don't talk to me, bro. We are here to pay things. Matati, you're a beautiful ball driver.
Good morning, Bongani and team. For me, it's the queue that forms inside of an airplane when it's time to disembark. When people act like they have no idea that it's time to get off, although they were in a rush to get off, and then no one's going anywhere. Thank you.
Morning, Bongani and everyone. True story. In East London, people literally come into the store, reserve a place in the queue, then go ahead to do their shopping. And then they want to come claim their place ahead of people who have been waiting in the queue all along. It's insane. It is a norm. It's crazy.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Yo, Batum, Muteo is so strict, so strict. My ultimate pet peeve is queue jumpers, like Njani. Like, how were you raised? How do you pass by a group of people? Yeah, that's my ultimate pet peeve. Thank you.
Morning, Bongani. William here from Brits. Look, I totally agree with Muteo there, Bongs. Really. Those people, the editors, who starting to pour in their handbags now at the last minute there. Oh, really grate my carrots. I kid you not.
I love that. It grates my carrots. Never heard that expression before. We're talking, of course, about this investigation by the Gauteng Department of Health, investigating allegations of a pay-to-skip-the-queue system at some hospitals and clinics where people pay officials to retrieve their files, collect their medication, or to be served first for a low, low price? And I'm asking you, what gets your goat? What grates your carrots waiting in queues? It's changed, of course, since the pandemic because things have all gone digital now. I used to hate it at the movies when people couldn't decide which flavor slushy they want. And, could I also have Smarties? No, I think I want Whispers. Maybe a Top Deck. And the trailers are ending and the movie is starting. And you just decide. Just decide. Yeah, exactly.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira, I'm an otherwise very pleasant person. If you don't disturb me in the queue. What gets your goat in the queue?
I mean, it's several things. The chief one, probably as a holdover from the pandemic, to be honest with you, is when people stand a little too close to me. So I've
feel them breathing on your neck.
No, it's not for me. So I've resorted to actually standing sideways in queues. Because then I find that if you're standing sideways, people are less likely to walk up to you because it's not your back. It's like, and most people don't want to engage in that small talk. So they might think that I'm friendly. And so then they want to have that conversation. No, you don't want to have that conversation.
I get it all the time. Are you Bongani Bingwa? So what does KG look like? Wait, does he have a big clock in the studio? Does he press start? No, Shame, you can come up to him. I'm very friendly, I promise.
Yes.
Wow, Anthony. Let's talk football.
Yeah, we'll start with Mamelodi Sundowns. They showed no signs of that MTN8 first leg semi-final loss affecting them. They returned to the winner's circle with a 5-2 win over Amazulu. That's thanks to a brace from Leon as well as Tebogo Mokoena and Matthews reaching the back of the net. And teenager Bennett Mokoena with the stunner. Here's the winning coach, Miguel Cardozo.
I think it was a very animated game. I believe for people that watched the game, both here in the stadium and at home, was for sure game with goals for both sides. Today we had a strong commitment. We knew that there were things we had to control. That this team of Mazulu is not an easy team to play against. Out of counterattacks and long balls, they can overload the sides and create problems for any defense.
I just think you read Sundown stories now, so you can say Miguel Cardozo.
Yeah, as I was cutting the audio, I thought you were going to say that.
Miguel Cardozo.
Yeah. But he's not back next hour, so, enjoy it while it lasted.
Okay, say it one more time.
Miguel Cardozo. Kaizer Chiefs dropped points in the wet conditions at Richards Bay as it ended 2-2. Goalless between Polokwane City and Milford. And Golden Arrows off the mark in the league with the first one of their season. 1-0 it was against Stellenbosch. In England, in selected Carabao Cup results, Everton beat Preston 4-0. Newcastle came from a goal down to win 3-2 against West Brom. And Spurs shared the goals amongst themselves in a 5-1 win over Charlton. Savio scoring on debut. Roberto De Zerbi saying goals is a huge part of what he needs to bring to his game.
It's a perfect day for him. I think his biggest step, his biggest improvement is to increase the number of goals because as a qualities, I think is one of the best winger. But the best wingers score many goals.
Switching to cricket, after being forced to follow on, Sri Lanka spent day 4 at the crease in the second test against India. By stumps, they had managed to eke out a 16-run lead and will be looking to stay at the crease throughout the remainder of the final day. India, for their part, are chasing 4 wickets in that second innings. Sri Lanka starting on 229 for 6. In tennis, Caroline Muchova and Jacob Menchik won the US Open mixed doubles titles. They beat the pairing of Belinda Bencic and Flavio Cobolli 6-3, 1-6, 10-6. Meanwhile, South Africa's Lloyd Harris came from a set down to win his qualifier against Riek Gasha 2-6, 6-2, 7-6. And in golf, Tyrell Hatton expects that Live Golf will continue next season despite job losses and an early ending to the current season. The circuit says it needs an investment of $350 million in order to survive, having lost the backing of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. Hatton has publicly dismissed talk of jumping ship, although he will be playing the rest of the season on the DP World Tour. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly as part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
It's a good thing you're naked when pulling into a petrol station. Because what if the pedal you just stamped on wasn't the brake? With Naked, you can submit your accident claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So you send us an answer based on something you heard in the show, and for that you'll win $1,000. You simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer, and for their troubles, they'll win 2,000 Rand. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142, and you could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Good morning. My name is Bushokwa. I'm 12 years old. I go to Princess Primary School. When I grow up, I want to be a mechanical engineer, and I can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Bongani.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
It's 12 minutes to 7 o'clock. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There's a crash on the N1 South. Amma, what's going on?
Yeah, Bongani, that's in the Midrand area. It's right near the Olifantsfontein Road exit. It's causing about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of Samred Road. And if you are traveling on the N3 North, do expect delays between the Geldenhuys interchange and the Elands turn-off. That's due to peak time delays. There's more peak time pressure piling up along the N1 North, heading towards Four Ways between Beyers Naudé Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. I'll have more updates. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 49. What's that random warning light that keeps popping up on my car's dashboard? Oh, the mystery. Well, with the Outsurance pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports, no more disconnected systems, no more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. istratgo.com.
Head to Dis-Chem for great value on everything you need. Look out for the yellow label to enjoy bulk savings on Better Rewards brands. Swipe your Better Rewards card to get 2+1 cheapest free and an extra 10% off any Comfort fabric softeners. Plus, get 2+1 cheapest free and an extra 10% off any Johnson's Baby products. Valid until 13 September at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. The lady asked me if I'm comfortable with my excess. I said, excess? Well, according to my therapist, I'm apparently a little too comfortable. But sometimes you just need to make sure. You know what I mean? She just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we speak to the operator of the National Lottery. There are millions sitting in their bank accounts, and they could be yours. You just need to claim them. In the meantime, though, let's give away some cash, shall we? We're playing today with 12-year-old Bushokwa, who is a student or a learner at Princess Primary and wants to be a mechanical engineer. Bushokwa, why do you want to be an engineer?
Because I want to design cars.
Ooh, what's your favorite car?
My favorite car is a Land Rover Defender. Land Rover Defender V8.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Well, let's see if we can vroom vroom your way to 10,000 Rand. KG, start the clock. What's the name for a baby goat? Is it a kid or is it a cub?
A cub.
It's a kid. In maths, what is 1/2 of 100?
50.
Correct. True or false? Flamingos are born with pink, bright feathers.
False.
Correct. What is a synonym for transparent? Is it clear or dark?
Clear.
Correct. South Africa's biggest desert is called the Sahara or the Kalahari?
Sahara.
It's the Kalahari. On which side of the road must people drive in Australia? Right or left?
Right.
Left. True or false? The giraffe is the tallest animal in the world.
False.
It's true. Which sport has Grand Slam tournaments played on grass, clay, and hard courts?
Cricket.
Tennis. In cartoons, what color are the minions? Yellow is the answer we were looking for there. Yellow is the answer we were looking for there. But if a rough one there for you, Bushokwa, you walk away with something though. Don't walk away empty-handed. 3 correct answers means you walk away with 300 Rand. We play the Whiz Quiz every weekday at around this time. You must be aged 10 to 13 to participate. Simply go to Prime Media Plus, tell us your name and age and why you want to play, and we could be giving you a tinkle.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
7 to 7 onto this now. You're broke. You can barely afford the month's groceries. You have to borrow money for transport, perhaps, especially in that last stretch before payday. The school fees are overdue and you can't remember the last time you went out. You're looking after an elderly parent. You yourself are a single parent. Your credit cards are maxed. You owe on your overdraft and you have only one wish: winning the lotto. Except you have. You just don't know. More than 120 million Rand in Lotto and Powerball prizes are sitting unclaimed. The biggest prize on the list is a staggering 93.5 million Rand Powerball jackpot. KG? 93.5 million Rand. Other winners are sitting on millions and they just don't know it because many of these tickets were bought through banking apps, which means some winners may already have had a notification waiting for them, and there is a deadline. If these are not claimed within a year of the draw, they expire. So are people simply forgetting to check their tickets, ignoring notifications, or are they not realizing just how important that little ticket in their pocket could be? Fundi Sitebe joins us this morning. Fundi is the Chief Operating Officer at Sizekaya, the operator of the National Lottery. Fundi, a very good morning to you and welcome to our program. Thank you for your time this morning.
Top of the morning, Bongani, and thank you for having me.
120 million Rand. I want to cry. It's sitting unclaimed. How could someone win millions and simply not come forward?
Well, I think on the larger side of it, Bongani, I think South Africans didn't realize that when Sizekaya came into operations on the 1st of June, we really meant that we want more winners, we want to create more millionaires. And as such, we've seen that. And it's bizarre. I think people have probably bought tickets or have probably bought their tickets on the apps and are just not checking the numbers or probably thinking that it's spam when the bank is calling them to alert them. But we really are reaching out to them to say, and the funny thing is we also know exactly where the tickets were bought. The 93 million rand unclaimed was bought in Lapo, Soweto. So we've got that information. Unfortunately, we won't have the details of the winner per se. But we're asking people, we're begging people, please come get the millions.
All right, let's talk, for example, the banking apps. I think buying it over the counter is simple enough, right? But the banking apps, if you've played, I've always assumed you'll get some kind of SMS or notification from the bank. Isn't that how it should be?
So you're correct. Up to a certain amount, if you've won, the bank will automatically put, because you've already been featured, the bank would automatically transfer your winnings into your account, right? But there is a threshold to that. Once you go over and above that threshold, so say Bongani has purchased a ticket through the app, and you won 50 million rands, for example. And let's use the 93 million, right?
I want to drive you to that 93 with Bongani's name on it.
Manifestation starts here. So let's say the 93 million, your bank will unfortunately not be able to say, dear Bongani, you've won 93 million. Your bank, however, will call you or send you notifications to say you are a high tier winner. Please, can you ensure that you contact us as well as Sizakaya? Because what also happens in parallel, Bongani, is that we then need to bring you into the office to obviously start a whole lot of processes, including counseling, including, the financial advisory, etc. So we do need people to come into the office. But there is a step that's kickstarted by the bank, and people need to be aware of that. SMSs, WhatsApp messages, phone calls. Please, sometimes it's actually not spam. It's the real deal.
A high tier winner. Well, there's an expression I've never heard from my bank, so that takes me out of the running. Is it that people don't check their tickets? They forget? How does it work? What do you tend to see as a trend?
I suspect that, we're busy. We've got busy lives, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or whatever it may be. So you purchase a ticket, you kind of keep it in your wallet, you keep it in your pocket, and you forget. You forget there's a draw, and a couple of weeks later, you're like, oh, by the way, I needed to claim. So as best as possible, we partner with media. We really go out of our way as a car just to say, hey, there's, unclaimed amounts that we need paid out. But over and above that, we still need you as the person that's bought the ticket, who's got the ticket in the custody, to check your tickets, to check your numbers, and to come forward to say, that you've won. So we do also rely on the player themselves to just be vigilant. As much as we do our part, we also rely on the player.
So you've got a year to claim from the day of the draw, yeah?
Correct. 365 days from the day of the draw. And then what happens if it's not claimed, Bongani, then we have to automatically put that into the good causes. It gets paid over to the NLDTF. So it's not 100% loss, but it still gets paid over into those good causes if it's not claimed.
And at least it goes to a good cause. What's the longest wait you've seen somebody take before they claim a really, really big prize?
You're going to faint. We're still waiting for somebody who bought a ticket on the 13th of June for 23 million rands off an ABSA banking app.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, at least the 93 million rand winner was Friday's draw. So we're still a little bit confident, but that's the longest and that's the largest over and above the 93 million.
So wait, last week, somebody bought a ticket in Mulapo, Soweto, you say?
Correct.
And they could be 93 million rand rich and they just don't know it.
Absolutely, Bongan. Absolutely.
Goodness me. And the next big prize is the 23 million bought off
Correct.
the ABSA app. Is there another huge amount?
Then probably the next four, there's about 2 million that was bought on the Nedbank app. Also around, if my memory serves me correct, probably around early July. Then there's two values of 1 million rand. One was on the Nedbank app and one was at a retail store, a Checkers. I can't remember where.
Goodness me. And maybe some of these people are under serious financial pressure. All right, so check your tickets, check your messages from the bank. You could be rich. And if you do claim your prize because you heard from us, do let us know. Appreciate your time, Mfundi Sitebe there, the Chief Operating Officer at Sizekaya.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
From good news in one sense to really, really bad news. Up next, we explore some of the challenges in the higher education sector, from NSFAS to TVET colleges and the kerfuffle that has happened at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology.
This is EWN.
The GNU defends National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza from the EFF, and Ket Matlala's meeting with Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is under the microscope at Madlanga. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza has survived a motion of no confidence in her leadership. The EFF, which tabled the motion, struggled to get the necessary support from GNU partners to obtain the required majority last night. Party leader Julius Malema of the EFF had argued that Didiza is not an impartial leader and has acted in a manner that appears to be in protection of President Cyril Ramaphosa. The motion followed Didiza's decision not to oppose a court challenge by the president against his impeachment proceedings. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
While GNU partners, including the DA and Freedom Front Plus, said they did not agree with Speaker Togo Didiza's handling of legal matters involving President Ramaphosa's court challenges, they also said a case had not been made for her removal. Defending Didiza, Justice Minister Mameloko Kubai termed the motion unnecessary and frivolous. The EFF did, however, get support from the MKP, ACDP, ATM, NCC and UAT. Party leader Julius Malema had argued that Didiza has let the institution down.
She does not consult and she manipulates political parties in her efforts to protect the president.
But the vote did not go the EFF's way. Deputy Speaker Annelie Lotriet put an end to the debate after a marathon session.
Those in favour of the motion, 101. Those against the motion, 282.
Next week, Ramaphosa will return to court in his next challenge against a parliamentary impeachment report. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Defence Committee members in Parliament are alarmed by the levels of corruption and tender irregularities in the Department of Defence and military veterans, with calls for an inquiry. The Hawks yesterday told the committee investigations are ongoing internally, with several cases referred to the NPA. The committee yesterday was briefed by the Special Investigating Units and the Hawks on the status of investigations related to the defence portfolio, including material irregularities. Babalondenze has more.
Hawks Divisional Commissioner Lieutenant General Dumsani Mboto told the committee that a total of 13 cases are under investigation. The contracts under scrutiny are worth hundreds of millions of rands, with some referred to the NPA for prosecution. He said in one case, the South African Army Foundation transferred 40 million rand contributed by soldiers unlawfully.
And 40 million of those was transferred unlawfully, we allege, and we are on the verge of finalizing the investigation on this.
Committee Chairperson Dakota Legwete says MPs are frustrated by the criminality in the Defence Force.
That's why other members would even opt for a commission of inquiry or ad hoc committees, because they are losing hope on our capacity to bring results.
Members of the committee, however, did raise concerns over other high-level investigations by the Hawks, which have not been finalized after years. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
The Madlanga Commission is investigating details of a meeting between alleged crime boss Vismuzi Ket Matlala and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He says they met at a hotel in Umhlanga last year, and the meeting was arranged by his ally, former KZN Hawks head Lisicha Senona. Matlala says he wanted Mkhwanazi's help to sway his police tender, and in turn he allegedly offered information about suspected cartel member Steve Mutsumi. Karinda Jagmohan reports.
General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi testified in Parliament this year. He recorded his meeting with Vusimusi Ket Matlala, who revealed alleged cartel payments to a senior police officer.
He gave me the address of the house of Timotsu. He told me about activities of Spear, how the Spear is collecting money. He told me about the Impalas he bought for Spear.
Yesterday, Matlala refused to answer questions about this, but was overruled, conceding he spoke about payments to suspended Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sabia, although reluctant to say from whom.
Did Mr. Mutsumi pay General Sabia?
I don't know.
Despite probing, Matlala refused to state whether Mutsumi paid Sabia, only willing to reveal the alleged middleman.
And who is that person?
It's Agent Ngosi.
Matlala's return date before the commission is yet to be confirmed. Kurinda Jagmohan, Eyewitness News.
And humanitarian organization Gift of the Givers has confirmed that 4 South Africans are among people missing in Nepal following a flash flood. At least 160 people have been killed there when the flood and mudslide hit yesterday at the Rasua district close to the border with China. Dramatic footage shows a torrent of water hitting a wall and submerging villages. Gift of the Givers says it was contacted by the daughter of a South African couple missing in the country. A tour operator later confirmed a second South African couple, along with several international tourists, has also been reported missing. Carlo Peterson reports.
Gift of the Givers says it has 11 urban search and water rescue specialists on standby, as well as 4 SAPS dog handlers and 4 search dogs authorized for deployment. Founder Imtiaz Suleiman says the organization is engaging with the Nepalese embassy in South Africa, while DIRCO will be approached for diplomatic support should a deployment be approved. Suleiman says Gift of the Givers is also preparing logistics with airlines and have contacted Nepalese disaster management officials.
They suggested not sending any teams for now because there's no clarity as to an announcement being made by the Nepalese government for international assistance. Also, it's too high risk because of secondary destruction. They're expecting another dam to collapse. And thirdly, because there is no access.
According to Nepalese authorities, international teams have been advised not to travel yet as the scale of the disaster is still being assessed. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,629.10 an ounce. The rand is at 15.95 to the dollar, 21.67 to the pound, 18.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.30 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. While heading towards Marlborough, we've got some issues along the N1 South between Allendale Road and the Baklu interchange.
And in your sport, Mamelodi Sundowns move joint top of the Betway Premiership alongside Orlando Pirates after a victory last night. Kaizer Chiefs held to a 2-2 draw against Richards Bay. Meanwhile, there were wins for Newcastle, Spurs, Everton and Bradford in the Carabao Cup. And Mourinho wins his first home game of his second stint at Real Madrid.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 11 degrees, peaking at 22. Pretoria 12 and 22 as well. Vereniging 10 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza has survived a motion of no confidence in her leadership.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702 proudly presents the Dina Letty stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2026.
We're gonna have some fun. You guys ready?
This is Jazz Reignited.
Jazz.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, technology that helps organizations move forward.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It was to be expected that Togo Didiza would survive that motion of no confidence in her leadership. It follows, of course, that decision not to oppose a court challenge by the president trying to halt his impeachment proceedings. You remember we've had a number of political parties from opposition ranks saying that she had a duty as the representative of parliament to do so. She disagreed, and that's how we got to where we did yesterday. Perhaps a clue was the fact that it was held virtually. So that is in the bigger scheme of things, something that might have been expected. Earlier in the week, we told you about the tariff wars between Canada and the United States. And the latest development is that the US President Donald Trump wants to rename Lake Ontario Lake America, as tensions with Canada continue over trade. Trump has made the suggestion on social media, saying the US no longer expects to do much business with Ontario, Canada. But the Premier of Ontario, which of course is a province of Canada, Doug Ford, says this is a lot of rhetoric and the two sides just need to get back to the negotiating table.
So this is Lake Ontario in Canada and in the United States. But we're going to make a little change. We're going to call it something different than Lake Ontario. We're going to call it Lake America. And all it takes is a good pen and some intelligence. So Lake Ontario, that's gone. Lake America. So now we have a lake, and now we have a gulf. Because we have the Gulf of America, now we have Lake America, without the of. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy Lake America.
Without the off. Yesterday we were talking about people or moments that live rent-free in your head. Donald Trump lives rent-free in a lot of people's heads. And that is an example of why. And guess who else lives rent-free? Donald Trump lives rent-free in his own head, I think.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
11 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. Here's a thought. If you could set a world record for something you are already ridiculously good at, what would it be? Would it be, I don't know, the fastest cleaner of your kitchen? The most dedicated runner or gym goer, if you will? Maybe you could claim the record for watching the most documentaries in one sitting, keeping secrets for years, ignoring messages or calls for the longest time. Don't ignore the Lotto ones, eh? What completely random talent could earn you a place in the record books? It was on this day in 1955 that the first edition of the Guinness Book of Records was published, and it was created to settle debates around the world's biggest, fastest, longest, or most unusual events or achievements. And it started as a small reference book and has since become a global record-keeping phenomenon, evolving with the times to include everything from human achievements to technology to sport to entertainment and some truly bizarre events. On this day, the world changed. I mean, you could trace in some ways all the issues we are dealing with as far as climate change to this day in 1859. The discovery of oil in Titusville, Pennsylvania in the US, leading to the world's first commercially successful oil well. And it helped launch the modern petroleum industry. More than 160 years later, oil remains important to the global economy despite the shift towards cleaner energy. I told you earlier about the Gauteng Department of Health investigating claims that some officials take money from patients to skip queues or speed up services, particularly at public health facilities. So it could be anything from appointments to the retrieving of medical files or collecting medicine. And it raises serious concerns about unfair access to an already stretched public healthcare system. And that's why I asked the question, what really gets your goat, or as somebody said, grates your carrots about queuing? And have you seen the awful images coming out of Nepal? Severe flash floods hitting parts of China and Nepal, with more than 150 people confirmed dead. And I suspect that number is going to rise quite considerably. Rescue teams continue searching. Flooding, mudslides, and a major landslide devastating communities along the Nepal-China border. Some of those images, as you see the waters rushing towards people, some of whom who really had no idea what was coming. I saw a video of people sitting in a bus, and you know that emergency window at the back, break it in case of an emergency. And it starts with a little bit of curious chatter. Oh, look what's going on over there. And then it quickly turns to horror and panic as the waters rush towards the bus. And of course, we can only imagine what happens next. And it's also the birthday of South African rapper Khulane Morule. You know him better as Kulichana. He turns all of 44 today. He was born on this day in 1982. It's so much noise. Give me Dolly Parton. His hits include Tswada, Happily Happy, among many others. Hey, Amo?
Mm-hmm.
I had to read all of that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Kulichan. Up next,
702.
Big Higher Education.
Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Quarter after 7, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. What's happening on the N3 North? Amo?
Bongani, we've got heavy traffic volumes between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to an accident as well as roadworks along this route. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 South in the Midrand area due to that accident we spoke about earlier. It's right after Olifantsfontein Road, delays from the Brockfontein Interchange. I'll have more updates. Please stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Deciding to send that text without proofreading first may cost you some embarrassment, but deciding to stay with your current car insurance, well, that could cost you thousands of rands in savings every year. With Outsurance, 54-year-old Yaku saves an amazing 282 Rand a month on his 2025 Suzuki Swift. Switch to Outsurance and you too could be one quote away from having more money in your pocket every month. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702.
The Big Interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
16 after 7, on to this now. You'll remember, of course, we recently spoke to the chair of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education in Parliament. And one of the issues we raised was all of the woes facing the National Student Aid Scheme. And as you will remember, he said it wasn't quite a disaster. We've been trying to get the minister onto the program, and we'll keep on asking, and we'll keep on asking, and we'll keep on asking until he agrees. But stepping into the breach this morning is Yusuf Kasim, who is the Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training. And we want to talk about what on earth is going on in the sector. Let's start with NSFAS. Leadership woes, a revolving door of board members and senior leadership now being litigated through the courts. 5 billion Rand in improper disbursements, late payments, and a reported 80% of all queries by students remaining unresolved. And they are the lucky ones. They got in, you see. Most applicants cannot be absorbed by our universities. Then there's the crippling cumulative debt that sits at nearly 60 billion Rand owed to institutions of higher learning, half of it due to NSFAS. And students who have qualified often sit at home because their certificates are withheld due to outstanding fees. And I haven't even mentioned TVET colleges, meant to solve our youth unemployment crisis. They too face breakdowns from funding to curriculum obsolescence and workplace bottlenecks. See, imagine this picture. The student has studied, the theory part, KG, has been completed, but they sit at home languishing because they can't get practical work experience they are required to complete the qualification. And what happens next year? The TVET colleges accept yet another cohort who are going to face the same future. How do we fix this? Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time once again, Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners.
I mean, you've heard the basket, right? Pick a crisis. You have your hands full.
Well, it's exactly why I've just been in this position for just over a month, and I've spent that time intervening on issues that impact on students, and we've been able to resolve a number of those issues, and those were issues that were flowing through the Deputy Minister's Help Desk, which is located in my office. And that is also what informs my visit to NSFAS this morning, which would be my second visit to NSFAS within a month's time, Bongani.
Well, the latest issue, and I think this is what you're going to be dealing with now, the Funza Lusaka scheme. These are bursaries meant to fund teacher education. There have been delays, we understand, in paying them. Why?
So these are similar to the general delays that have taken place within the system. It's important to understand that the Funza Lusaka bursary is implemented by NSFAS, and the same systemic issues that has plagued the delays that have delayed the finalization of the gap investigations that have kept students literally suspended for up to 5 months are the similar systemic issues that have resulted in the delays of the disbursement of the Funza Lusaka bursaries. And that would include, for example, the academic verifications and the data that needs to be received from institutions, which actually should happen at the beginning of the year. And the reason why they go through this process to validate is to prevent things like duplicate claims, double funding, to ensure that there is the acceptance of the bursary agreements and that students do qualify academically in terms of the academic progression. And I've spoken about this previously, Bongani, as somebody that has just come into this position dealing with a number of issues. I mean, I was the person that applied a lot of pressure to ensure that the never-ending gap investigations are dealt with as urgently as possible so that students know where they stand. But it's the same problems. The money is available, but the money cannot be disbursed according to NSFAS until these verifications and academic progression data is available and validated.
Except a number of students say they've reached out to the help desk to no avail.
Well, we've received a flurry of complaints because of the great work that my office has been doing. Students have increasingly used the help desk. But it's important to understand that my office, Bongani, can't solve those issues directly. We rely on institutions, entities like NSFAS, or other actors within the sector. So we take up, let's say, for example, you've got an issue. Your issue is with respect to the Funza Lusaka allowance that you haven't received. We then take up Bongani's issue, and then we go and reach out to the relevant. We put it on different spreadsheets, and we reach out to the relevant entity or institution, in this case, NSFAS, in order to deal with the issue. Then what you'll find in that respect is that there would be a number of students affected by the same issue, and that informs my intervention. So, for example, at the CUT, Central University of Technology, there was over 1,000 students affected by not receiving the allowances for accommodation in unaccredited residences. Immediately when we received the issues, we escalated. When we see that the relevant institutions have not resolved the issue, I then go there myself in many of these instances, and then we try to get a resolution. In that case, we were successful. And in this case, similarly, my office has been dealing with this issue from when I came into this position, and we've been able to get some progress now in this respect. The board met on Monday in order to approve the transfer that affects 6 institutions, and I'm now going to NSFAS in order to better understand some of the overarching issues that have resulted in this delay, and to also follow up with the interventions that we have embarked on.
It does feel to me, though, that often we blame students for systemic inefficiencies. I mean, we're not talking chump change here. 1.3 billion rand allocated to at least 23 institutions, and we're doing some of this checking much later in the process than we ought to. I mean, NSFAS continues to be disastrous.
So, I mean, look, I absolutely agree with you, Bongani, but I think it would be simplistic to put this squarely on NSFAS. There is no system in the entire sector that speaks to each other. Every institution has its own system. Every entity has its own system. Now, the minister has outlined his vision, working with the MICT-CETA to ensure that we have one system, so that if any student is interacting with the system, that information and data is available immediately. So everybody points fingers at each other, and that's not helpful.
So
and
who's to blame?
Absolutely correct.
So hold on, who is to blame then if there isn't a system? Because as I say, I mean, it's not as if the money wasn't actually there. It's not as if we don't know the institutions. And so if we haven't done the work we ought to have done, who is to blame if the system isn't there?
Well, I don't think trying to find someone to blame is helpful, Bongani. There's never been a system. Go back 10 years, go back 15 years, because a lot of this funding is now centralized, and I've spoken about my own views on that. UNISA has its own system, Nelson Mandela University has its own system, how it deals with the data of their students. TVET colleges have their own systems. CETAs also interact in their own funding of students as well. They've got their own systems, and then NSFAS has its own system. What I would like to achieve, and I think this is very important, is that from the beginning of the academic year, which was not the case this year, all of the verification checks, the academic progression checks can take place right from the onset. And what that requires is for that information to be available immediately, because at the same time, if NSFAS goes and pays over money to students who are not eligible for that funding, which it has done, by the way, because it accepts students based on their financial means testing, but not on their academic progression at the beginning of the year, that would also be flagged by the Auditor General and by others as being irregular expenditure, because that is funds that is dispersed to those that actually do not qualify in terms of the NSFAS policies. So, we can spend days trying to point fingers and that's what's happening in any case. The institutions point fingers at NSFAS. NSFAS then points fingers at the institutions and says, well, we don't have the data in order to verify that data and ensure the correct beneficiaries are funded so that we don't get flagged in an audit report. And then it's a never-ending finger pointing, and a student suffers at the end of the day. My focus, Bongani, has been how do we unlock these bureaucratic failures, because there are bureaucratic failures across the board, in order to ensure that a student's academic success is not held hostage. And that is the case at the moment. Students are essentially set up to fail. And after they are, because if you haven't received your textbooks, Bongani, or if you are being evicted from residences, or you do not have your meal allowances, you're not going to be able to succeed fairly in your academics. And then what happens the next year, after your academics has been compromised, the system then says, well, you haven't met the academic progression criteria and your funding has been withdrawn.
Right.
It's simply unfair.
So even if you have been lucky enough to get the funding, the conditions are such that you might fail because of when it might come. But beyond the bureaucratic...
And then after that, sorry, you must continue that thought. And then after that, you are then told, well, you haven't passed sufficient modules for you to qualify on the N+ rule, which says that you must complete your qualification within the number of years of that qualification plus 1 year.
Yeah.
And then your funding is withdrawn. You are condemned. And then you are condemned, not just to exit in the system, but then you carry a student debt as well.
I get all of those issues, but there are also other, shall we call it a fault of the design? I mentioned the TVET colleges in my introduction. Those continue to be a mirage in the desert. And now we're being warned about the viability of our public universities. That's a real concern, isn't it?
It is absolutely a concern. And I think we had this conversation last week, Bongani. With respect to the NSFAS deficit, there is a deficit of around 15 billion rand. NSFAS is not in a position financially at the moment to pay all of the outstanding tuition fees that is due to universities. There was a decision that was taken before my appointment in this respect, that with the money that is available, that the prioritization of payments should be done on the basis of allowances due to students or to the accommodation that they are staying in. Because you have to make a choice, right? If you've got a 15 billion rand deficit, you have to decide, well, what are you going to pay first? And the choice that was made is that meal allowances, textbook allowances, your living allowances, textbook allowances, accommodation allowances, let's pay that first, and let's try and get the deficit dealt with so that the money that is owed to institutions, I think it's over 10 billion rand actually, which is due for tuition fees, can then be paid at that point. Because if you had paid that amount first, what would have then ended up not being paid, Bongani, is the meal allowances and the accommodation allowances. And the conversation that you'll recall we had last week is that because of the policy that was in fact introduced initially by the former president around fee-free higher education that says, well, anybody that meets a certain threshold must be funded. Well, you do that 100%, but you've got a limited allocation of funding, and that money has ballooned over time. It was 10 billion rand a few years ago. It's now 50 billion rand, and the costs are escalating, and there's a number of cost drivers involved, including the accommodation costs and expenses, and now there's a movement to try and increase the NSFAS cap for that, which would then further compound the problem if it was accepted, because you then have to pay a larger amount of that limited resources for accommodation, and then your deficit climbs concurrently or in correlation to that. So there has to be a decision that is taken. And we had the discussion last week about how do you triage those that qualify, and to ensure that you can fund students correctly instead of trying to spread the funding as thin as it is spread at the moment, and then everybody's academic success is compromised as a result.
We've got to talk the talk and walk the walk and fix these problems. It's an ongoing conversation, isn't it? The Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, Yusuf Kasim.
EWN Business.
Discovery in the pound seats, Matteo Kharipe.
Yeah, doing quite well, Bongani. Discovery expects headline earnings to rise by 31 to 36% for the year to June. That means they'll have very good profits for the period. The performance was driven by growth in its South African business and its global vitality operations. It seems it went well for investors as they accepted that news, up 4% on the JSE yesterday. So Discovery having an all-round good day.
Insider trading being investigated at Curro.
Yeah, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority has launched a formal investigation into possible insider trading involving Curro shares before the 7.2 billion rand buyout offer by the Yanni Mouton Foundation was announced last year. The investigation follows concerns about several large share purchases made months before the deal became public. Now, the FSCA has not said which transactions or accounts are being investigated. The buyout announced in August last year offered shareholders a price of about 60% higher than Curro's pre-announcement share price. At that 60% premium, Curro's stock spiked by over 50% immediately following the announcement, yielding massive profits for those who had recently bought shares. Now, the foundation plans to take Curro private and reinvest the future profits into building new schools in previously disadvantaged areas.
Your indicators?
The rand, 15 rand 96 against the US dollar, 18 rand 60 against the euro, 21 rand 68 against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,620, up 0.5%. Platinum up close to 1% at $1,854. Brent crude at $87.40 a barrel. More business after 8.
Let's talk agriculture and workers. Sfisa Zulu.
Well, Bongani, good morning. The Agricultural, Food and Allied Democratic Workers Union claims Premier Foods is unwilling to sell its Tulbagh canning factory to save the operation and jobs. Retrenchment consultations stalled this week as workers picketed outside the facility following last month's announcement that it would close. The company acquired the food product Western Cape plant from Rhodes Food Group in March this year. The union's Nyaniso Qalaqha alleges Premier Foods bought the factory to reduce competition, only to later find the operation was no longer economically viable.
Apparently, the Rhodes Food Group was selling the same product and then they were sharing the same customers. When they came and merged with the Rhodes Food Group, and then they said that, no, we are going to minimize the chances of to be in a competition. That is why they are not willing to sell this facility to other investors.
He also claims that the company is excluding seasonal workers from severance package payouts.
Seasonal workers is plus minus 3,000 and permanent employees is 245 if I'm not mistaken. And the fixed term contractors, it's 179, brings them close to 3,500 people that are working here that are going to be affected with this situation.
The Hawks have accused a controversial Durban businessman of deleting data from his phone after his arrest. The 65-year-old, whose name has come up several times at the Madlanga Commission, is facing charges of human trafficking, kidnapping and sexual assault. It's alleged that he was part of a scheme to lure women from Johannesburg with the promise of jobs. The businessman and his alleged accomplice were released on bail yesterday. Tabiso Goba reports.
The alleged offences took place in early 2022. However, the arrests were only made more than 4 years later. When she was handing down the bail ruling, Magistrate Sharon Marks criticised the state for dragging its feet in the matter. She added that the state also provided no satisfactory explanation over why it took so long to enroll the matter. However, the businessman had a theory. He told the court that his arrest was a ploy for the Hawks to confiscate his phone and find incriminating evidence for the Madlanga Commission. However, investigating officer Carl Sander says the Hawks phone analysts didn't find anything because the data on the device was deleted. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
For the first time in a decade, repeat home buyers have outnumbered first-time buyers among South African women applying for home loans, signalling a shift towards long-term property ownership and wealth creation. New F&B data shows repeat buyers accounted for 51% of female home loan applications last year. The figure suggests more women are moving beyond their first property purchase and staying in the market to build long-term assets. Demakatsole Shuru takes a look.
The decade-long trend has found that women are buying more expensive homes, with the share of women purchasing properties valued above 1 million rand doubled from 21% in 2015 to 42% in 2025. At the same time, women have strengthened their position among first-time buyers, accounting for 52% of approved applications last year, up from 43% a decade ago. Varashni Naidu is FNB's head of structured lending.
It's also worth noting that women on average record lower default rates. And as we celebrate Women's Month this August, these numbers are a powerful reflection of the progress of women in South Africa.
She says the trend shows that more women are not only entering the property market, but are also moving up the property ladder. Dimakatsole Shoro, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 12 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 23.
And in the traffic in Springs, we've got a report about hectic delays along South Main Reef Road as well as the R29. Please be on the lookout there and try to avoid the area altogether. Please stick onto the highways. The N17 East is flowing as well as the N17 West. And then if you are traveling on the N3 North, we've got delays between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road.
The top story this hour, the Agricultural, Food and Allied Democratic Workers Union claims Premier Foods is unwilling to sell its Tulbach canning factory to save the operation and jobs.
What's for dinner tonight, South Africa? Hiya, Jamie Oliver here. Dinner stress? Forget it. I've teamed up with Checkers to bring you some of my favourite recipes the whole family will love.
You gotta try my simple smoky chicken wraps. Delicious and done in minutes.
Shop the ingredients on Checkers 6060 and boom, delivered in 60 minutes. Every week, 5 brand new dinner ideas. Checkers, dinner done better.
Exit 1 litre is 25 rand. It's the Magoya, this one. Serious.
You get a deal, but who pays? Illicit trade hurts families, kills jobs, and funds criminals. When you buy food, drinks, fuel, or cigarettes that seem too cheap, someone always pays. Cheap comes at a price. Illicit trade robs South Africa of income and destroys our economy. Choose legal products. If you suspect fake goods or that something is illicit, report it. Visit www.ychp.co.za. Your choice has power.
Design Plus Interiors' massive closing down sale. After 50 plus years in the furniture business, it's time to smell the roses. Everything must go. Everything is half price. Doors close on the 20th of October. Saturdays and Sundays, we're open until 2 p.m. 17 Kramer Road, Kramerville. Don't miss out. Design Plus Interiors' massive closing down sale.
You'll drive 20 extra minutes, walk past 3 competitors, ignore every special sign just to get to your place, your bakery, your bookshop, your car wash, your family restaurant. Because loyalty doesn't always choose the closest, it chooses the best. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Rewarding the local businesses and entrepreneurs that have earned that place in your life. The businesses that deliver every time and keep you coming back for more. Go to primemediaplus.com now to view the awards categories and nominate the business that's earned your loyalty. Because if they're worth the drive, they're worth the nomination. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Less admin, more time for what you love. Yoko, let's grow on 702 and primemediaplus.com. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Hi, Bongani. This is Cynthia. I just want to say a big congratulations to the new deputy minister that you've got on there. I'm sure he knows that the sector is struggling for years. And it's very sad to see our children suffering with this NSFAS, with accommodation, with access. I hope his new appointment will bring real change and open doors for all the students who've been left behind. And very good luck to him.
I hear your interview with the gentleman. I totally believe that and absolutely believe that what he's saying is utter nonsense. For you to fix the system, you have to find out what's wrong with it. And what's wrong with it, in this case, it's human resource. So human resource is the problem. You need to identify who is the problem so that you can put a blame and resolve the problem. Remove the people or get the people to do the work. You can't say pointing fingers won't help. It helps to point a finger at the right direction.
Hey, good morning, Bongani. Hey, listening to your big interview today. I must say I'm one of those last week, I think, when you had a big interview with the portfolio committee chair on higher education. When you characterized NSFAS as a disaster, I thought you are being a bit unfair. But listening to the deputy minister now is talking the talk, but you can clearly see it's a systematic failure. There's just no system as he accept. But it's very sad that such an important funding, for students, it's just not coordinated in the way that it's supposed to be. But yeah, let's hope and pray that someone somewhere will have the audacity and the willingness to want to get this sorted so that we can have a proper student funding that helps the students that are very much in need, not those that are connected. Thank you, Kiki.
Well, for me, the difference is, at the very least, whether you are offering solutions now or working your way towards that, at the very least, you've got to accept what the problems actually are. You've got to properly diagnose the situation, because financial exclusion, poor living conditions, lack of food, getting learning materials a month before the exam, and it's a tick box exercise, and the system says, yeah, but you did get your books delivered, without acknowledging when you might have received that material, where you are kicked out of residence, and eventually that money is paid, but you've lost the bed. And so we have a scenario where even if students are lucky enough to be admitted into an institution and lucky enough to get the funding, because of all of the challenges, a student may fail and then they're excluded, and it's just disastrous. At the very least, what we've got to do is be able to admit that, because I think then we can have a sense of urgency about addressing some of the problems that are encountered. And we don't blame the students. That's what we ought not to do.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first we'll give you 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Francis in Alberton. Francis, please give us today's answer.
The answer is 1982.
1982. And tell me, Francis, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do, Bongani.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Thank you, Francis, for that answer. 1982 it is. What's the question? Do you know? Call us on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira joins us now for the world of sport. Anthony, it was a costly era for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, it was a very costly era at the start of the game in their 2-2 draw against Richards Bay in the Betway Premiership. Goalkeeper Brandon Peterson, 8 minutes into the game, received the ball inside his box, then dawdled on it, which gave Kulu the time to score the first of his 2 goals for the Natal Rich Boys. Through the use of a translator, Makosi coach Fernando de Cruz says he has some mixed feelings over that result.
Today we have 8 points, but normally we need to have 12 points because against Mamelodi also we make mistakes. Today we need to learn about our mistakes and to continue to work hard to look forward. He says he has 2 different feelings. He's very disappointing, but also he's happy about the performance of the team because the team play well. But this type of mistakes, we cannot make this type of mistake at this level.
Mamelodi Sundowns kept pace with Orlando Pirates and now joined top of the table after a dazzling 5-2 victory over Amazulu. Brazilians' next fixture is that all-important MTN8 semi-final second leg against Golden Arrows, which they have to overturn a deficit. Although not as emphatic, Arrows went on to continue their winning ways against Stellenbosch. 1-0 it was. It was goalless between Polokwane City and Milford as well. In England, Barnes came off the bench to net a brace in Newcastle's 3-2 win in the Carabao Cup over West Brom. Spurs rampant in a 5-1 victory over Charlton, and Everton and Bradford have also advanced. Mourinho's first home game in his second stint in charge at Real Madrid was marked by a Mbappe masterclass. The forward with the hat-trick in a 4-1 victory over Real Sociedad. They're one of 3 teams to have started La Liga with back-to-back wins, Sevilla and Real Betis the others. Barcelona can do the same when they take on Athletic Bilbao this evening. While in tennis, a Czech duo, Caroline Muchova and Jacob Menchik, won the US Open doubles, while Venus and Serena Williams will be at Flushing Meadows for their last Grand Slam of the year after they were given a wildcard entry. The 2-time winners last played together at this tournament 4 years ago in what was Serena's final tournament before she evolved away from tennis. They already reunited this year since her return to the sport, losing in the first round of the Cincinnati Open. In cycling, today Pogacar's bid to complete his career Grand Slam victories continues at the Volta a Espanha. He's the leader in the red shirt, 3 minutes and 21 seconds clear. It was, however, Matthew Brennan who went on to win Stage 6, his second stage victory in 2026. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
It's a good thing you're naked while doing the dishes, because what if water starts coming from somewhere that definitely isn't a tap? With Naked, you can request emergency plumbing assistance instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive home insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
At Crawford International, confidence is built every day. We're encouraged to find our voice, think independently, and lead with courage, integrity, and compassion. In the classroom, on the sports field, and beyond, we learn to step forward, embrace opportunity, and make a meaningful difference. Crawford International, building global leaders. Join us for Open Day on 5 September and experience how we develop confident students ready to lead in a global world.
Some parcels are more than parcels. They're gifts, opportunities, supplies, and moments people are counting on. That's why CourierIt makes it easy to book, send, and track your parcel online, moving it from your door to anywhere nationwide. And with 2,700 pickup points, sending has never been more convenient. With real-time visibility, reliable delivery, and people who care, we help you deliver what matters. Move it with CourierIt, because your parcel deserves more. Sign up on courierit.co.za.
Well, this week on The Masked Singer South Africa, the face-offs are back. 4 masks return to the stage, but only some will make it safely through to the next round. Sushi takes on Pineapple, and Hoja goes up against Sheep. And this week, the detectives will get extra help from Jason Goliath, a former Masked Singer contestant who knows exactly how hard it is to hide behind the costume. But will that insider knowledge help him crack the clues, or will he be just as confused as the rest of the panel? My clue? That surely is a trained voice. Who is it though? Catch a brand new episode of The Masked Singer South Africa this Saturday at 7 p.m. on SABC. This is a repeat on SABC 1 at 9 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on SABC 2.
EWN Traffic.
10 to 8. Amo, what's happening on the roads?
Well, Bongani, in Springs, we've got heavy traffic volumes reported along Main Reef Road. This is just as you approach the R29. Please be on the lookout there and try to avoid. You can still use the N17 West to try and avoid that backlog. If you're heading towards Sandton, we've got heavy delays on the Maikwa North. An accident right near Glenhove Road. It's causing delays from the Kilani Bends. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N1 South between the Brakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. That's due to an earlier accident. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 1982. Let's go to Chris in Kempton Park. Chris, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. The question is, in which year was Motswako rapper Kulichana was born in? Who's celebrating his birthday today?
Are you a fan, Chris?
Yeah.
So I got flack from some of the 702 landers who say we didn't play enough of Kulichan. He's a fantastic rapper, don't get me wrong. It's just at my age, this music is loud. Or am I just too old, Chris? Am I just too old, eh?
Yeah, you're too old, my guy. You're too old, eh?
I'll keep this man. Be careful.
Careful
now.
So my bad.
Chris, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Yes, indeed. The fantastic Kulichan is celebrating his 44th birthday today. Fantastic rapper. But the background. Okay, I like this one. I like this one.
I told you about the things we do for the shampa, the things we do for the rantam, the things we do. What I'ma do is at the pools I got a tanta. Make no room for blunder. We ain't getting younger.
All right. Humble Pie, this is a fantastic song. No More Hunger. It's how it started that sidetracked me. No More Hunger. Sounds fantastic. More of it, KG. Hey. Or should I just stick to what Dolly Parton, hey? Is it rather like the look Muteo gives me, Amo, when I speak Totita? I said to him Fede the other day, and he was confused. He thought I was speaking Chinese. Deciding not to make a grocery shopping list may cost you an extra trip, but deciding to stay with your current car insurance could be costing you thousands of rands in savings every year. With Outsurance, 37-year-old Lerato saves a whopping 599 Rand a month on her 2026 Kia Sonnet. Switch to Outsurance and you too could be one quote away from having more money in your pocket every month. SMS out to 45142. So that's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, Call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
At Checkers, every day gets better and better. Get better freshness, better choices, and better value for money. With deals like Escort Barbecue Loin Rib Rack, 750 grams, 3 for 299 Rand. Fanta Sprite or Stony Soft Drink or Schweppes Soda Water, 2 liters, any 2 for 38 Rand. And Parmalat Protein Plus Full Cream Yogurt, 800 grams, any 2 for 85 Rand. Valid until 6 September, only at Checkers.
As a business owner, you're always looking for ways to save money. But have you looked at saving on your business insurance premium? With Outsurance Business Insurance, you could save big, like Bosmansdam High School.
We were with our previous insurance for 10 years plus before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We are saving 3,705 Rand per month.
It was so quick and easy, we should have switched sooner.
Ready to switch and save? Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
All right, Kabazela out for the rest of the week, taking some much needed time out. So, Bapeli Lesambo, one of our producers, is deciding to step into the hot seat.
Hey, Bongani.
I can't say Bapeli.
And I was waiting because I've practiced. I practiced.
All right, tell us, you've got this?
Bongani. So in this clip, there's 2 siblings, aged around 7, and the other one, I can say 10 years old. Okay. And they are walking into a pitch black area. It's in the middle of the night, around 10 p.m. And the reason why I can tell you it's around 10 p.m. is because this video was taken from a home cam and it has all these timestamps.
You can see the timestamps.
Yeah, so they are taking the trash out. And this older brother, you can clearly tell he's nervous, but he's trying to psych the younger brother up. You've got this. It's in the middle of the night. They're taking trash out. It's like, you've got this. Don't worry, you've got this. You are the man. Don't be scared. And they are both nervous. As soon as they approach the dustbin or the trash can and they're trying to throw away this trash inside, there comes out a raccoon. And it flies out, and suddenly these 2 grown men, as they said they are grown up, they are starting to scream for their lives and they are running. But before I ask you my question, KG, please do the things.
Right, we're grown men. Join. Hey, don't be scared. You're open to
Bapelo grown man in 2 seconds. So we wanted to flip the question around and ask 702 lenders, as an adult, in your adult years, what's that ridiculous thing you're still afraid of, even though you know you should not be?
Well, you say, I'm a grown man.
Yeah, I shouldn't be afraid of this. It could be...
Mine is well known.
What?
Birds.
Birds, me too.
Things that suddenly... Please explain it to me.
What?
Thank you. I didn't know that about you because people think I'm mad.
Oh, no. I had an incident where a bird came into my house. And it was a whole story. I had to plead with the bed. We had to have a conversation, me and the bed. It was so hectic, Bongani. I sat down. As soon as I gave up, trying to talk the bed to get out. And it had ruined my curtains. It was flying everywhere. And since then, I was like, no more.
It's the sudden movement for me.
Yes.
It's that flapping sound.
Yes, and they're aggressive.
And the beak.
And the beak.
And the claws.
And they're so cute. That's the thing.
No, they're
it's
not. No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not
Let me
cute.
not take far.
I've chased one successfully, I think, earlier in the year.
We saw that video. We saw the video.
Mop, but yeah, no. Do you have any irrational fear? You talk yourself through it and you have mantras and you tell yourself it's just in your head. It really isn't going to do anything to you. But as soon as you confront it, you crumble. What is that for you as an adult? Let us know.
702.
702. Feedback.
With Siamtanda Matiso.
I also want to know how it began. So, Sia, you will remember growing up Mtata as you and I did.
Yes.
You sometimes got a haircut and they used a pair of scissors. And they would say that if your hair, or even as you were getting with a machine, but if parts of your hair fell, amalulwane.
Yep.
What would I call those? It's a type of bird.
Yes.
I don't know what it is in English. If they picked up a clump of your hair, you would go crazy.
Yes.
I think it may have started with that for me.
Really?
of
So now
birds.
you always... Oh, wow, Bongani.
Because I was always imagining these things
Oh.
coming from my hair.
Shame, man.
When I would be watering plants in the garden with a hose pipe.
This is dark.
Ilulwan, is it a bat?
That's what Bapilile is saying. It's a bat.
Yes.
Anyway,
To think about it,
just,
it is
you know,
what a myth.
I have
mustn't-
two, actually. It's needles and swallowing pills. Needles, because I saw my cousin, the needle actually broke inside of him. And so he has a scar. Like, it's, yeah. And then swallowing pills is because I once swallowed it and it got stuck in my throat. And I thought I was going to die. So now I overthink the whole situation.
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
once
taking it.
choked from, you know, those big Gaviscon pills?
Yes.
The one that you're supposed to break
Oh, my
up.
word.
It looks like a 5 rand
Yes.
coin. Not a pleasant thing to happen. All right, what other feedback do you have?
You have 702 landers scrambling and looking for that banking app, ABSA and NetBank. They're looking for that life-changing
nothing on the
text
FNB app. I was
message
so upset.
to see if they won their lotto or the jackpot, to see if they won the 120 million. And I'm like, guys, I don't think you won it. I mean, like, every one of us, we have been searching. I know you and me were looking at our FNB banking and
nothing
it's
there.
only to hear that we are not part of that.
But the person in Mulapo, in Soweto,
Mm.
who bought a ticket last week, Friday, who has 93 million rand to their
Imagine.
name, and they just haven't claimed it.
Maybe it's Cindy who has the money, guys. Maybe that's
No,
why
she
she's not here.
doesn't. She doesn't live in Mulapo. Maybe we should all start dating people from Mulapo. and
Yes!
Soweto, eh? All right, coming up after the 8 o'clock news, we'll ask a few of our closest friends for some help in getting you tickets to Joburg Day.
This is EWN.
Togo Didiza survives a motion of no confidence, which the ANC describes as frivolous, and Denny Jordan's fraud case is back in court. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Political parties in the government of national unity have all defended National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza against a motion to remove her. It was tabled by the EFF, but it struggled to get the necessary support last night from GNU partners to obtain the required majority. Party leader Julius Malema had argued that Didiza is not an impartial leader and has acted in a manner that appears to be in protection of President Cyril Ramaphosa. The motion followed Didiza's decision not to oppose a court challenge by Ramaphosa against his impeachment proceedings. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
While GNU partners, including the DA and Freedom Front Plus, said they did not agree with Speaker Togo Didiza's handling of legal matters involving President Ramaphosa's court challenges, they also said a case had not been made for her removal. Defending Didiza, Justice Minister Mameloko Kubai termed the motion unnecessary and frivolous. The EFF did, however, get support from the MKP, ACDP, ATM, NCC and UAT. Party leader Julius Malema had argued that Didiza has let the institution down.
She does not consult and she manipulates political parties in her efforts to protect the president.
But the vote did not go the EFF's way. Deputy Speaker Annelie Lotriet put an end to the debate after a marathon session.
Those in favour of the motion, 101. Those against the motion, 282.
Next week, Ramaphosa will return to court in his next challenge against a parliamentary impeachment report. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The long-running fraud case against SAFA President Denny Jordan and his co-accused returns to the Palm Ridge Specialized Commercial Crimes Court today. Jordan is accused of using more than 1.3 million rand of South African Football Association money for his personal benefit. The case has yet to reach the trial stage after a series of legal applications and delays by the defense. Mongezi Koko reports.
Danny Jordan will appear alongside former SAFA Chief Financial Officer Hroni Hluyo, former Acting CEO Russell Paul, and Public Relations Specialist Trevor Neethling and his company Grit Communications. The state alleges that Jordan used SAFA funds to pay for personal security at a public relations company hired to manage his image following rape allegations made against him in 2017. Prosecutors also allege that a service-level agreement between SAFA and Grit Communications was signed and backdated without following the association's proper approval processes. The accused have denied the allegations. The matter has repeatedly reportedly been delayed as the defense pursues several legal challenges, including applications relating to the search and seizure of documents at Safa House and claims of unreasonable delays in the case. At their last appearance in May, the matter was postponed to today to allow the defense to respond to the state's arguments in the application over the delay in finalizing the case. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
The Madlanga Commission is investigating details of a meeting between alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Matlala and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He says they met at a hotel in Umhlanga last year, and the meeting was arranged by his ally, former KZN Hawks head Lesija Sinona. Matlala says he wanted Mkhwanazi's help to sway his police tender, and in turn he allegedly offered information about suspected cartel member Steve Mutsumi. Karinda Jagmohan reports.
General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi testified in Parliament this year. He recorded his meeting with Vusimusi Matlala, who revealed alleged cartel payments to a senior police officer.
He gave me the address of the house of Steve Mutsumi. He told me about activities of Spear, how the Spear is collecting money. He told me about the impalas he bought for Spear.
Yesterday, Matlala refused to answer questions about this, but was overruled, conceding he spoke about payments to suspended Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sabia, although reluctant to say from whom.
Did Mr. Mutsumi pay General Sabia?
I don't know.
Despite probing, Matlala refused to state whether Mutsumi paid Sabia, only willing to reveal the alleged middleman.
And who is that person?
It's Agent Ngosi.
Matlala's return date before the commission is yet to be confirmed. Karinda Jagmohan, Eyewitness News.
And the families of 4 South Africans who are presumed missing following flash floods and landslides along the Nepal-Tibet border are waiting for news of their loved ones. Rescue teams have confirmed the deaths of more than 160 people in the disaster. South African aid organisation Gift of the Givers confirmed it received reports of 2 missing couples yesterday. Carlo Peterson reports.
Founder Imtiaz Suleiman says the organisation is engaging with the Nepalese embassy in South Africa, while DIRCO will be approached for diplomatic support should a deployment be approved. Suleiman says Gift of the Givers is also preparing logistics with airlines and have contacted Nepalese disaster management officials.
They suggested not sending any teams for now because there's no clarity as to an announcement being made by the Nepalese government for international assistance.
According to Nepalese authorities, international teams have been advised not to travel yet as the scale of the disaster is still being assessed. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,605.55 an ounce. The rand is at $15.95 to the dollar, $21.68 to the pound, $18.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $87.35 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 North between the Killarney Bends and Glenhove Road. An accident reported there. There's also queuing traffic along Main Reef Road. This is due to an accident reported right after Robert Road in the Storm Mill area. So please be on the lookout there. Then traveling on the N1 North, queuing traffic between Beyers Naudé Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive.
And in your Sport Carabao Cup next round throws out Anfield hosting Liverpool and Spurs. Well, there's still 2 matches left to be played this evening, with Fulham up against Wimbledon, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge against Luton Town. UEFA Champions League draw set for 6 p.m. And South Africa's women will end their FIH Hockey World Cup with the 13th place playoff.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: political parties in the government of national unity have all defended National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza against the EFF's motion to remove her.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit EWN.co.za or download the EWN app. Everything you need to know about the local government elections is on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za. Because this is more than local. It's personal.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Welcome to the program. If you've just joined us a little earlier on, we spoke to Sizekhaya, the national lottery operator. 120 million rand remains unclaimed for lotto winners and Powerball winners, the biggest of which is 93.5 million rand. Goodness me. Just let that sink. Mateo, 93 million, what would you do with it?
Take leave.
Permanently, I suppose. Higher education continues to face a myriad of challenges. NSFAS, including, of course, the funding of institutions and students. But can we also talk about TVET colleges? Are they fit for purpose? In many instances, when they can provide the theory learning, but students can't qualify because no workplace will take them for the practical bits. And yet every year we take on a new cohort to do exactly the same course. We couldn't find placements for students the year before. Make it make sense. How do we rejig the entire system? Quite apart, of course, from the leadership woes at NSFAS. Now we have an administrator, now we don't. Now we have board members resigning, now we have them reinstated. All of that being sorted in the courts. And is the job of Minister of Higher Education a poisoned chalice? Especially if you chewing gum?
Bongani and team. While you were talking to the Sizekhaya Lotto lady, I went into my messages on the phone and I typed high tier winner and it says no results.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh, what is that, you wonder? Well, we were told by the lotto operator that if you play the lotto on your banking app, you are not going to get a message saying you've won X amount, but you'll get a message from your bank saying, hey, Muteo, you are a high tier winner. Either contact the operator or your bank. But how many of us even read our SMSs? So go into your messages right now, type high tier and see what comes out.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
I'm like, morning, Bongani and 702. Ilulwane is a bat, and I'm also afraid of swallowing pills because I had an incident. I actually ended up in the emergency room because my multivitamin tablet got stuck in my throat. So I break them up. If I can't break it up, I put it into the blender and take it that way if I have to take tablets. As a result, I don't like taking multivitamins. I'd rather take effervescence.
Morning, Bongani. This is Selma from Roodepoort. A family member of mine worked in the army, a permanent force, and she said one of the guys there was a feared recce, a feared fighter, fierce fighter, and he was just really, everybody was scared of this guy. He was just a macho guy. And one fine day while he was sitting in her office, a mouse ran in. This guy jumped on a chair and said, bring my 9 more. That's my story for the day. Thanks for a lovely show. Bye.
Good morning, 702 and the team. I stopped drinking tea at the age of 6, if I remember well. I got burnt. So I stopped drinking anything that's hot. That would be your tea, that would be your coffee. So since that day, I was traumatized. And I also stay away from rats, mice, all that stuff. Even if it's dead, I cannot pick it up.
Bongi. Flores here from a beautiful Western Cape. Mice and rats. Ooh, I cannot stand those animals. Let me tell you, I am nearly 58. I live next to a field. And whenever I spot a mice or a rat in my yard, I call my wife.
Good morning, Bongani. Listen, I am with you on this. The birds, come on. I'm afraid of birds. Been afraid of them. I think for me, it's the feathers. I don't understand. And it's the whole flipping. There was a bird in my house, and I kid you not, I left the house, waited for my husband to come in there so that he could chase away the bird. I'm not dealing with a bird in the house. I'm sorry. I'm not dealing with that type of situation. So, yeah, I know. Call me scary pants, but nah, bro. Nah, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. Neo from Vanderbilt.
Must be nice to be able to call a wife or a husband to deal with this. What's your irrational fear? This is our What's Gone Viral conversation. You're an adult, Amu. You tell yourself you're a mom now. You've grown up. Mutewa,
Yeah.
you're a dad. You work at 702, for goodness sake.
It's mice and the dark.
The dark?
Yeah. I will not walk in the dark all by myself. Sorry. Even if it's in the house, I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do, I put on the light. There has to be light. I can't.
So you don't tiptoe to the bathroom to make sure you don't wake?
No. I will have to put on the light. And mice. To a point, even watching Ratatouille, the movie, sometimes it's a bit problematic for me because I cannot.
Muteo, here you are. You're a father now.
Yeah.
You are an upstanding member of society, an influential figure. People make investment decisions based on what you say. What are you afraid of?
You know, Bongani, I think wedding vows should include I'm also willing to fight creatures, mice, and all sorts of stuff. But my biggest fear is stepping out of a bath or the shower and slipping on the tiles.
Yes, you've told us this.
Yeah, it's happened to me before, and it was such a close shave. I was like, you know what? And it was worse because I used to stay by myself at the time, wasn't married, was a bachelor, and I was just like, no.
They could have found me on the floor.
This can't be life. I need to get married.
Trick, wipe your feet before you step out. So you step
Trust
out
me,
with
there's
dry
all
feet.
sorts of towels there to make sure that doesn't happen.
I was very brave recently. So I have a cover for my pool, and for some reason, a bird was dead, floating on top of the pool, except on the cover. You know those net things that you pull the leaves out of the pool with a long pole? I used that to scoop it out. And the bird,
you were quiet
it
the
was
whole
dead.
time.
It wasn't moving. That's the point.
We're okay with
And
that.
in my defense, I actually thought it was a rat. I thought it was a little mouse. And only upon closer inspection did I realize what it was. Your irrational adult fear. And are there fears you've developed later on in life? Do you develop some fears later on in life?
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of a fear of heights.
Yes.
And that's only come later.
Have you ever watched reels and TikTok videos, and even though you're lying on a couch, you are shaking just as
EWN Traffic.
If you have a fear of being stuck in traffic, well, listen to this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amu, on the M1 North, there are pressures.
We do have delays, Bongani. This is due to an accident right near Glenhove Road. Delays coming out of the Killarney Bends. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Airlines turnoff and the Geldenhuys interchange. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsman can't help you find the perfect parking spot, but they can get the traffic flowing smoothly so you get to the shops before the sale ends. The Outsurance Pointsmen are real heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion, making our lives easier for almost 21 years. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
At Crawford International, confidence is built every day. We're encouraged to find our voice, think independently, and lead with courage, integrity, and compassion. In the classroom, on the sports field, and beyond, we learn to step forward, embrace opportunity, and make a meaningful difference. Book your personalized tour and experience Crawford International for yourself. Crawford International, building global leaders.
They said they didn't have a favorite, but that wasn't true. Mom takes pictures of it, and then Dad shows it off to visitors, and no one is allowed to touch it with sticky hands. When I arrived, they let the butcher hold me.
Melissa, we've spoken about kicking the new Decofern table. Come meet Decofern's irresistible new arrivals and grab your favorite furniture at your favorite prices. Now at your nearest Decofern or decofernsa.co.za.
They said you were too small, not worth their time. But you built anyway. Made a plan. Made another plan. Today, Yoko frees you from survival mode. So you can breathe again. Make smarter calls and do what you love. We once gave you access. Now we're giving you tools to compete with the big guys. Yoko, let's grow.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
So as promised, on Saturday the 5th of September is 947 Joburg Day at Crocodile Creek Polo Club. Would you like tickets or at least help with tickets? We're calling a few of our closest friends.
And invite them to our little party.
Can I get a vibe check?
We're crossing over to 947. We want to ask our closest friends across the corridor to get us some help at 702 Land to come to Joburg Day. We've got FOMO. We walked the talk and we want to join your party. Anele and the club, can you help us?
I'm just going over the guest list, Bongani. And
Yeah, what's the VIP section looking like?
Oh, my word. Okay.
Many are called, but few are chosen, hey?
Okay, so you are from my village in the Eastern Cape, Kutsolo. So already.
Which is a dolop.
It's all a dolop, bit now. It's all a dolop. So yeah, okay, Bongani, what's the deal? What do you want to do? How do you want to work this? Do you want us to organize a bit of a discount?
We want to come to Joburg Day. We'll take what we can get. Free tickets would be lovely, but we understand these things cost a little bit of cash. But DJ Zintle, Casper Nyovest, Mikasa, Kabza de Small, the Soweto Gospel Choir, that's right up our alley. We want to join the party. So what can you do for 702 Land, Anele and the club?
Okay, so I'm thinking. Team, personally, all of you guys, I'm going to give you guys 2 tickets each to come and join us. Okay, yeah, everybody in there, I'm looking.
Right. I see Amos
We're
waving
clocking it
her
like
hand.
Cyril. We're clocking it like Cyril.
Click it. And then for the rest of 702 Land and the listeners, we're going to give you a bit of a test. If you get this right, then we're going to organize a discount for anybody that you want to join us from the 702 listeners. But you have to pass the vibe check. Okay, Frankie, give me.
All right, Bongani. So this is a lot of weight on your shoulders because it's the whole of 702 Land. If you get this right.
But I think the king of 702 is going to get it right.
Of course.
Okay.
Right.
Nerves.
So we've picked a whole bunch of phrases, cool words, etc., across generations, by the way, all the slang we all used to use. And then you got to use it in a sentence. We'll give you 5 seconds. Can I give yours?
Ooh, okay.
Are you ready? Here we go. Only in South Africa. Use that in a sentence. 5 seconds. Go.
Only in South Africa would a failed spokesperson take up pole dancing.
Whoa! Oh my word, the spice.
Shady.
Good morning, Lumka Olifant.
Welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Oh my word.
Does that work?
No, it works. Your friends have got discounts and you've got security.
So here's how it's going to work for everyone in 702 Land. If you go to Ticketmaster, right, you'll find all the details on primemediaplus.com for 947 Joburg Day, by the way. If you go to Ticketmaster and you use the code 947 Walk the Talk. So the promo code is 947 Walk the Talk. The discount is there for you.
Fantastic stuff. A few of our closest friends. If you want to go to Joburg Day, it's next Saturday at the Crocodile Creek Polo Club. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And if you want that discounted ticket, that's what you have to do. All right, we'll let you be. Continue with your vibes, Anele and the club, and we'll continue with the serious business of the country.
There's only 2 weeks to go
Until you experience
big artists.
How's it, guys? It's Will Lindley, and I can't wait to see you guys at Joburg Day.
And even bigger main stage moments.
at 947 Joburg Day.
On 5 September. Grab your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
23 after 8, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam Gilchrist will start. I've seen some of the visuals and I don't even think I can think of an adjective. Devastating seems understating it. The floods in Nepal.
Yeah, they blow your mind, don't they, those videos? There's one where you see this surge of muddy water, just enormous, great big, it looks like a kind of tsunami going down this valley in through the town. And it's just gobsmacking as eventually the buildings start collapsing and the bridge is blown away. And the loss of life, of course, is going to be huge. At this stage, officially, 160 people have lost their lives in both Nepal and Tibet. This thing has gone through the two countries. Although details from the Tibetan side, the Chinese side, effectively, are a bit sketchy. But we know overall there are also about 1,300 people missing at this stage, including soldiers, Nepalese soldiers and police officers, but a lot of tourists. There may well be at this stage, we think American, British, other European and South African tourists, absolutely pilgrims and trekkers, head to this part of Nepal, especially this time of the year. That's an awful lot of people unaccounted for. And obviously, all the various consulates and embassies are trying to make contact. But, first thing first, it's to get emergency aid, shelter, food, medicine to those people who have been left behind. In some cases, people literally had to abandon their homes and try to get up a hill as this flash flood stormed through, just seemingly caused by torrential rain and a landslide. And lo and behold, that's what nature can do to us sometimes. It is terrifying.
I mean, I saw visuals of people in a bus and they're sitting towards the back of the bus and they're watching this thing with a little bit of curiosity. And then as the waters come closer, you can hear the panic and the terror. All right, let's move on to something else then, Adam. Autonomous weapons using AI, the UN urging some caution here.
Yeah, maybe a bit more panic and terror because of this. Autonomous weapons that could kill human beings. In other words, weapons that decide effectively to kill human beings. Both the United Nations and Red Cross have warned that we are very close to a proliferation of these. So what they've had a look at is this after an investigation into an AI-powered Russian drone attack in Ukraine last month. So now we know because investigators have looked through the debris of this drone that hit a petrol station in Zaporizhia, killing 3 people. When investigators examined the remnants of it, they found on board a sophisticated onboard computer that would enable this Russian drone to seek out its own targets. So they think it was launched by a human operator, by a Russian soldier, but that the drone effectively chose its target, the petrol station, independently and identified also what the vulnerable spot in the petrol station was in order to cause maximum damage. So the UN and Red Cross are now arguing that without regulation, these weapons will quickly proliferate. And we've seen the war in Ukraine, Russia has absolutely created a whole new kind of warfare through drone technology. So AI drone technology, they say, could cross that moral red line where people are targeted and killed by machines. Oh my God, we're at that moment, yeah.
The Matrix begins. I mean, isn't it funny how fiction often imitates, or at least fact imitates fiction? Now tell me about moving a castle by hand, Adam.
Yes, take that, machines. This is about people power. So 1,800 volunteers to move an entire castle by hand. I mean, once upon a time, it would probably been slaves with a bullwhip at their back. And not now, of course, it's volunteers, yay, who they didn't deconstruct and then rebuild this castle. They actually moved it. Hirosaki Castle, which has had repairs after being damaged in an earthquake. It's 200 plus years old, and officials used an old Japanese technique called hikia. We might call it elbow grease, actually. They dragged this 360-ton building about 2 meters using only ropes and rollers. That's the hikia bit, and obviously a fair amount of muscle. 1,800 people enlisted to muscle up, heave the castle back into place with chants of "Sorry, sorry," which apparently is just about getting the timing of the pull right. As 61-year-old Motoharu Nakata put it, there's absolutely no other opportunity to pull a castle. It was fantastic. I can't say I'm looking forward to pulling a castle by hand. I can't say I'm going to sign up to it. But, as a one-off experience, why not?
We'll leave it there. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, let's talk business news now. Muteo Khodipe, lower inflation bringing a little relief to South African salaries. This is good news.
Yeah, salary earners in South Africa got some welcome breathing room in July as lower inflation helped their pay stretch just a little further for the first time in about 9 months. According to the Pay Inc. Net Salary Index, average take-home pay rose to 21,642 Rand in July, up 0.2% from June and 2.2% from a year earlier. Now, the index tracks the take-home pay of about 2.1 million South African workers. Over the past few months, inflation fell sharply from 5% in June to 4.3% in July, helped by lower fuel prices. Now, this saw inflation-adjusted salaries increasing by 0.4% during the month. However, the reason you're not feeling it yet is because there's still some pressure on your pay. Real take-home pay was still 2.2% lower than a year ago, meaning households continue to feel the pressure. The improvement could also be short-lived if oil prices go up again and inflation shoots up.
All right, your indicators?
Well, looking at the JSE All Share, quite flat yesterday because industrials was the only index that was up 0.5%. Banking stocks were lower. Mining shares also came in the red. Then the Rand this morning, 15 Rand 95, strengthening further against the US unit at 18 Rand 59 against the euro, and 21 Rand 68 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is also in the green at $4,604 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,844. Brent crude at $87.19 a barrel. That's your morning business. I'll have more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. In this next half an hour, we speak to the great Celeste Nduli. In the meantime, Sfiso Zulu, over to you.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. More than 3,000 workers facing retrenchments at Premier Foods say they stand to lose more than just an income if the factory closes. They picketed outside the Fruit Products Western Cape plant in Tappelberg yesterday after consultations with unions reached a deadlock. Anele Gabela says he's worked there for 7 years and supports a household of 5, but he's never been permanently employed.
You can't work for so many years, but you are not permanent. My dad was 55 and my mom was 50 when they stopped working. So they only got each 5,000 Rand. It's a crisis. Most of the people are going to suffer. It's going to affect you because you are unemployed now. You can't pay the debts.
Staying in the Western Cape, emergency service teams have conducted a simulated cabin rescue exercise on Table Mountain. This was to demonstrate how they will respond to passengers if they became stranded in the aerial cableway. Last night's training operation saw rescuers deploy specialized equipment as well as rope access techniques to reach a suspended cable car and safely evacuate mock passengers. The team's David Nell explains the purpose of the training.
Just to introduce for young rescuers or newer rescuers that technique, it has a very small margin for error in terms of its rigging. So these trainings are quite focused, technically speaking.
He says this type of rescue does not happen often.
This particular technique where we're using the cabin as a rescue platform, we use this probably once, maybe twice a year, but it is far less frequent in terms of its use, but it is much more demanding, obviously, in terms of skill and currencies.
International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says the focus needs to shift from discussions to results as South Africa and Brazil deepen their strategic partnership. Lamola was speaking at the 8th South Africa-Brazil Joint Commission in Pretoria yesterday, where discussions covered areas including trade, energy, mining and agriculture. Lamola says the success of the strategic partnership will be measured by the result it delivers for the people and economies of both countries.
Our corporations must be underpinned by measurable outcomes, strong institutional coordination, and regular monitoring of progress. The success of our partnership will ultimately be measured by its impact on the lives of our citizens and the opportunities it creates for future generations.
And social media giant Meta has agreed to pay a coalition of U.S. states as much as $16.7 billion and to impose sweeping new limits on how teenagers use Facebook and Instagram in a landmark trial in California. The settlement, which a federal judge quickly approved, resolves claims by 29 states that Meta deliberately engineered its platforms to hook young users, misled the public about the risks, and unlawfully collected data from children under the ages of 13. 51 states plus Washington, D.C. initially settled with Meta. Texas reached a separate agreement with Meta, which increased the total payouts to around $18 billion. The changes to how young people use its apps go further than anything Meta has accepted before and follows years of criticism from parents and experts over the effects of the world's biggest social media platforms on young people. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 23 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R80 South approaching the hairpin bend. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 South just as you come out of the Brakfontein interchange towards Olifantsfontein Road. That's due to an earlier accident.
The top story this hour, more than 3,000 workers facing retrenchments at Premier Foods say they stand to lose more than just an income if the factory closes.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
We're telling the stories of hope dealers in Joburg. How important is that for people to say, maybe it's falling apart, maybe it needs some love, but we can fix it ourselves?
It's a beautiful thing to have hope, but if you're alone, you tend to lose hope. So now when you're with a community like this, it just gives you that push to actually go forward. They will grow. Maybe they're going to start coaching, maybe they'll play tennis. Or then I go to university and become something bigger.
That's the story of the Joburg Tennis Grassroots Foundation.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Welcome to Nando's Taste-Demonials. It's the flavor! Real reviews by real people. Nadine from Belito is no scallop, but she did call the flame-grilled half chicken in Nando's unique peri-peri recipe with a single side of your choice for $125 dope. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, sorry. Relax, Nadine. The only thing we're busting here is your hunger. Okay? Nando's. Oh, what a place.
Light the fire this weekend with Checkers. We have everything you need to keep the braai and the geus going strong. Get pork braai chops for $58.99 per kilo. Traditional Texas-style burger patties for $139.99 per kilo. And buy a pack consisting of beef club and T-bone steak for $139.99 and get a 250ml pepper sauce free. Valid until 6 September. Only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Running a courier business is so hard these days. The petrol price, the breakdown costs, and so much more. Luckily, I'm with My Way Business Insurance. I get to save up to 20% on my insurance premiums for my vehicles and goods in transit. And just like that, I have more money for all my costs.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your vehicles and goods in transit. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 today for a quote. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Brought to you by BCX. Technology that helps organizations move forward.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. It's X here. So, I'm a queue jumper, man. I don't like queues, so I jump the queue. So, but I don't have that bad luck where people get to have like a problem with me. So, because I'm a chill person, so it's like they will just let me go ahead. But I think with that one, when I think a colleague mentioned that he hate people that think about the card whenever they're in the queue. It's the same thing, man, with the toll gate. I hate people who just like, I don't know if maybe they didn't know that they have to pay, man. I hate it. I hate it with all my heart. That's the only way that I can use, especially those ones who are in a toll gate, man. You knew that there's a toll gate ahead. So it's the same thing. Thank you.
Morning, 702 Landers. This is Tiamo Moreng. What gets to me and sort of grates my thing is people at the tolls who have been queuing, and when they get to the booth, they decide, oh, I'm at a toll gate. This is now I need to pay. And they scratch around the car, scratch around everywhere, scratch around the car declines, and it becomes just a wait festival. Oh, that just gets to me. Thanks, Bongos.
Good morning, Bongani and Team Jakes here. I think the worst for me is people at toll gates. You always arrive at a toll gate, you know you're going to have to pay, and then the person gets to the pay station, and then they're faffing around looking for money and looking for cards, and you know you have to pay. Take out your card, take out your money beforehand. Speed up the process. I mean, come on. Anyway, have a good day.
Hey, morning, Bangos and team. O'Brien for Storats. Bongani, for me, it has to be queue jumpers, but you know how I solve them, ne? Sometimes it happens. Someone, brother, I'm behind you or I'm in front of you. They go out, and then once they go out, maybe some few seconds later, I'm wearing a red jacket. I'm taking off that red jacket. I'm holding it by my hand. And when whoever comes back, I look the opposite way. It's like I was not even, they don't even know me. Because I was like, yeah, I was in behind some guy here with a red jacket. Meanwhile, I'm holding my red jacket. I'm folded it. I'm looking the opposite direction. Thank you, Bongs.
There's a tip. We're talking, of course, about an investigation. It's a bit of a serious issue, actually, by the Gauteng Department of Health, investigating members of the public who bribe officials at health facilities to let them jump the queue. So it could be for an appointment with a doctor, it could be for collection of medication, all sorts. And these officials are on the take. And I was asking you, what grates your carrots when you are waiting in the queue? I love that first voice note. He is a queue jumper himself because he says he's a chilled person. And then he has the temerity to object to people at toll gates who take their time when having to pay. Let's all just be fair. Wait your turn. It's that simple.
EWN Sport.
Somebody who would never jump the queue is our Anthony Teixeira. You would never, would you?
No, never.
Not at all.
No. I wait my turn.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, Bongani, will start this hour with the draw for the next round of the Carabao Cup, which took place with the headline fixture seeing Anfield host Liverpool against Spurs. Other selected matches include Arsenal heading to Ipswich, Man United against Brighton, and defending champs Man City will face Norwich. 2 games left to be played in this round, with Premier League teams going up against League One opponents. Fulham meets AFC Wimbledon, then Chelsea at Stamford Bridge against Luton Town. Head coach Xabi Alonso saying that the Blues will be putting out a competitive team, even if the opening week of the season sees them having 3 fixtures, while also confirming that Enzo Fernandez is available.
We expect that he's involved, he's training really well, he's a good professional, and every cup is important, every game, and we want to have the best competitive team to face Luton with the all respect that every team deserves.
Earliest of those games kick off at 8:30, while the UEFA Champions League draw for the league phase is set to take place in Monaco, with part 1 being made up of the title holders PSG, German giants Bayern Munich, Spanish trio Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid, as well as Inter Milan. And there's 4 of the 5 Premier League teams there. The ones missing out are the Europa League winners Aston Villa. They're in part 2 instead. Each of the teams will play 1 match against the team from their parts, and then 2 matches against 2 other opponents, while the first match day will be played the 8th to the 10th of September. After 4 match days of the Betway Premiership, it's Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns who are joint leaders, one of the 4 unbeaten teams. There's Kaizer Chiefs and Golden Arrows who are also unbeaten there. The cricket world, meanwhile, sees England and Pakistan heading out at Lords for the second test of their 3-match series, the hosts leading after winning the opener by an innings and 103 runs, play set for midday. While in live action, Sri Lanka have dug in at the crease against India in the first session of the final day of that second test. They haven't lost a wicket but have managed to increase their lead to 116 runs by lunch. In tennis, Lloyd Harris will continue his US Open qualifiers. He has a match against Pablo Ruiz. And in hockey, the South African women will end their FIH Hockey World Cup. They have an outing against Ireland in the 13th place playoff. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
It's a good thing you're naked in traffic, because what if the highway is jammed during rush hour and you're the reason why? With Naked, you can request tow truck assistance instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Need a new appliance? Upgrade with Checker 6060 and we'll deliver today. Monday morning, Nespresso's calling. Let's go 6060. Bad hair day, Dyson's on the way. Let's go 6060. Cleaning hour with Karcher power. Let's go 6060. Newsmaker toaster for the boaster. Let's go 6060. Shop our wide range of home, kitchen, and beauty appliances on Checker 6060 and get it delivered today. Let's go 6060.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
From the 28th to the 30th of August, the Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, will bring energy, excitement, and the adrenaline of motoring to life at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. The Festival of Motoring puts you at the heart of the action, from exhilarating track experiences, performance cars, to 4x4 adventures, the sights and sounds of Kyalami. So whether you're a serious petrol head, looking for your next car, maybe chasing the adrenaline rush, or simply just wanting an exciting day out, the Festival of Motoring will bring cars, experiences, entertainment, food, and the motoring community together in one place. 3 glorious days of energy and entertainment. It's powered by Westbank. You can get your tickets now at Howler, and of course all week we've been giving away tickets, have we not? Have we not? Well, today is no exception. Got another pair of tickets to give away, and I want you to send us your name via WhatsApp on 072 702 1702 and answer this very simple question. What does SUV stand for? We could be calling you for a pair of tickets at this weekend's Festival of Motoring.
EWN Traffic.
Wrap up the morning's traffic 14 to 9. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays in Parkmore along Santon Drive right as you approach the Helen Avenue exit. That's due to an accident, so please approach with care. Then traveling on the M1 North, we still have got delays between Glenhove Road and Grayston Drive, an earlier accident causing these delays. Then heading towards Midrand, delays on the N1 South between the Brockfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. Otherwise, if you're traveling in the city of Tshwane, please try to avoid the N14 North. We've got a backlog approaching Youthfist Road in the Fountains Valley Circle. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Cloud adoption is no longer the differentiator. Business value is. Today's leading organizations need more than technology platforms. They need better visibility, faster decision-making, and the agility to respond to change. BCX connects cloud, cybersecurity, managed services, AI, and trusted telecom business connectivity into one intelligent ecosystem that helps organizations improve operational performance, strengthen resilience, and create measurable business outcomes. BCX. Connected multi-cloud, intelligent business. BCX enables businesses. Visit bcx.co.za.
It's a good thing you're naked at the mall, because what if you're absolutely certain that you parked on level 3, but level 3 has no idea what you're talking about? With Naked, you can submit your car theft claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium, because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Strong communities are built on a strong local government. Every day, municipalities work to deliver the essential services that improve lives and support thriving communities across South Africa. As the voice of local government, SALGA represents, supports, and empowers municipalities to build capable institutions, promote good governance, and advance effective service delivery. Salga, inspiring service delivery.
Coming up
On the Clement Manyatela Show.
on 702.
Clement Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12. A very good morning to you, Clem Zozo. What's on the show today?
Good morning. Good morning. Coming up on the show, we'll start with the 702 open line just after the news at 9 o'clock. Part of what we'll reflect on is Ket Matlala's testimony yesterday. Even though he doesn't want to tell us who was paying monies to Shadrach Sibiya through Fanny Nkosi, he does confirm that there were monies that were paid to Shadrach Sibiya, which sort of gives us a window into what he may have told IDEC when he was negotiating that plea deal. So we'll reflect on that on the open line and other issues. But at 10 o'clock, we're going to do things a little different today. Normally at 10, we do our hanging out feature. So we're going to move the hanging out feature to 11 o'clock today. And then I'm going to do the dialogue at 10 o'clock. And today, instead of doing the hanging out at 10, we're going to do our monthly feature, Exploring Spirituality with Vusumzi Ngande. And today we're discussing why men shy away from spirituality. That's at 10. And then at 11 on our hanging out feature, today I'm going to be hanging out with the mayor of Cape Town and leader of the Democratic Alliance, Jordan Hill Lewis. That's what's coming up on the show.
Between 9 and 12.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Tickets to the Festival of Motoring this weekend. You have to answer a very, very simple question. What does SUV stand for? Let's go to Kuliso in Midrand. Kuliso, what does SUV stand for?
Morning, Bones. It stands for Sports Utility Vehicle.
And tell me, Kuliso, are you a petrol head? Do you love cars?
I love cars. I think a girl can only dream, hey?
What do you love about cars?
The versatility, how the Chinese is attacking and keeping the German brands on their feet, everything about it.
So you're one of those who can talk, hey?
Of course, of course.
I love it. Kuliso, a pair of tickets is coming your way. All thanks to 702.
Thank you.
Enjoy the Festival of Motoring this weekend. Kuliso there in Midrand.
Jenny, it's the Crazy Store's birthday!
What? Your budget flew away?
No, 20% off everything!
Who said that you can't sing?
No, 20% off when you spend over 200 Rand!
Your husband's running off with Anne!
I said, it's the Crazy Store's birthday! 20% off everything!
Okay, you don't have to shout.
It's the Crazy Store's birthday. Save 20% when you spend 200 Rand or more. T's and C's apply. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
Joy of Jazz. The Standard Bank Joy of Jazz returns on September 25 and 26.
Thank you so much.
Join 702 at the Dina Lady stage. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
Scholar Transport drivers, every winter morning, our children depend on you to get them to school safely. But overloaded vehicles and rushing against time puts lives at risk. Remember, our children are not cargo. Overloading reduces your ability to stop on wet or icy roads. Drive responsibly. Arrive safely. Protect every child, every trip. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, returns to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from 28 to 30 August. Experience thrilling track drives, supercars, drifting, 4x4 adventures, and the very latest in automotive innovation. Book your tickets now on Howler, the Festival of Motoring, where legacy meets innovation.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 to 9. On to this now. If you love stand-up comedy, then a little bit of friendly competition, then this one is for you. Crowned the Comedy Shutdown Reloaded, bringing some of South Africa's funniest established but also up-and-coming comedians to the Market Theatre. It's happening this Saturday. There's 20,000 Rand up for grabs. And only one comedian laughing all the way to the bank and walking away with the crown. It's a knockout style comedy battle. So The comedians really have to make the judges and the audience laugh, survive the rounds, and then win over the audience through a live clapometer. And even adding more flavor to the night are hosts Siphelele Pele Pele Mchunu and David Gao Trevor Gumbi, but also the lovely Celeste Ntuli, who will be there this Saturday. A very good morning to you, Celeste. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good morning, Bongani. Kushani. How are you?
I'm very well. You know, it used to be that before certain people got an international hit series, they'd come to the studio.
Yes. Yes, international hit series, definitely.
Manje, we only talk on the phone. Hey? Manje, we only talk on the phone. Hey?
No, I'm on the road. I did say, I was like, why did you ask me yesterday? I was in Joburg. Because, coming to 702 is such a flex. You're like, I've got an interview with 702.
We'll take
I'll be talking in an intellectual terms.
We'll take it. All right, let's first focus on this weekend. This is going to be an absolute screamer. The comedy shut down. Audience responses and judges in real time. You're either funny or you're not, hey?
Yeah. I love it because I also took part in being a competition of being a comedian when I was in 2009. So I understand the adrenaline, the whole, and also because it's happening in one night. It's not the over the days thing. So to think sharp, think on your feet, comebacks, it must be it will be funny. I think this is going to be the most hilarious show because by virtue of 5 minutes, you need to be quick with your jokes. You need to make sure they land fast now. So it's going to be such an adrenaline show. It's more like your blind dates thing.
Yeah. I mean, how much pressure would an up-and-coming comedian be under? As you say, you've been through this experience, you've been down this road. It's one thing, you're already under pressure to make the room laugh. There's Celeste Ntuli, who is one of the hosts. There's Trevor Gumbi, there's David Gao. And now there's 20,000 rand to be won. Goodness me. I mean, you couldn't make it more tough, could you?
Yeah. Definitely now they have to run for the punchlines. So the trick is, if it's 5 minutes, in this 5 minutes, you need to also be able to tell the story, set it up nicely, punchline. Tell the story, set it up nicely, punchline. So it's a short form type of storytelling.
Yeah.
Comedy is a short form already, but when you have 5 minutes, it's a very short form. But the good thing about being a comedian that is not known, you have a lot of room to use, a lot of things to say, because no one's expecting whatever from you. We are expecting anything, We're like, okay, we don't know this person, or we have never experienced them before, so we are open to whatever they're going to say.
How scripted?
But when you're a seasoned comedian...
So sorry, I was going to come in and ask, how scripted are your jokes? I mean, I know that obviously the idea is to deliver it as if it's just come to your head, but do you write down every word and rehearse, or do you get inspiration in the moment?
I think it's kind of both. You have your written article, material, and then you have the jokes that are going to crop up on stage, because also that happens a lot. If you're a comedian, you'll be on stage and saying something, someone's laughter, someone's response, someone's silence can trigger you to say something, and then it can take you to a different direction. But if you're going to do 5 minutes, I would say to everyone who's going to be in a competition, have your script, but don't stick to it like word for word, because then it will throw you off if anything else happens. Be flexible with it, to know that anything can crop up, anything can come up in between. If that thing makes it funny for you, better. I mean, even now, as guest, I went to LA and I did exactly that. They call it potluck when we were at the comedy store. Yeah, they put your name in there and then they draw you. You don't know who you're following. You're just going to hear your name being called. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
How did
Everyone
it go?
has 5 minutes. It's dope. You must know how to, obviously now I'm a seasoned comedian, but I killed that thing. And you must know how to be fast with it. Make sure that you are interested in
Chonga.
it. Every word matters. Every word matters.
Now, tell me about the Duke Challenge, because of course it still is Women's Month, isn't it?
Yes. At the Duke Challenge, I think, I don't know whether the guys are going to be wrapped up in Dukes, but we're going to be doing that. I will have my took on. I'm not sure whether other guys are going to do it because, I mean, there's a lot of men in the comedy space. But I mean, I love that most men, whenever we do these things as Women's Month, they do participate. So I'm not sure how are they going to handle that one. All I know is that I'll have my took, and I wish there's more female comics on the lineup. That's what I'm hoping for. It's always nice to see a young female comedian. There's not so many of us.
It sounds like a fantastic day out on at the Market Theatre on Saturday night.
Yes.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for a bit of laughter, crowned the comedy shutdown. Celeste Nduli, of course, hot off the success of her internationally acclaimed television series, but continuing to make crowds laugh around the world. Always appreciate chatting to you. Good luck and have fun on Saturday. Celeste Nduli, comedian and one of the hosts of the Comedy Shutdown on at the Market Theatre this Saturday.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, connecting cloud, telecom business, connectivity, AI, and more to help organizations reduce complexity, improve resilience, and unlock opportunities. I'm going to be stepping away from the mic for a couple of days. I'm completing a leadership program, which has been absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you all about it and how you can participate in the outcomes when I return. You have yourselves a fantastic rest of the week and fantastic weekend. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Former Hawks head Godfrey Libia is set to take the stand at the Madlanga Commission today. Libia has been linked to alleged cartel member